and now's the time where you decide to get all up in my face because
Isn't
she's
that how
jealous.
it goes? Yep.
Yeah. And then on that note, we're live.
And here we are.
Welcome to the last Frenzy Freestyle Sunday of 2022. Nerd. Yeah. Well, you think we'd be on a live stream talking about Transformers if that wasn't the case?
Yes, welcome Daniel Demand, who's
Hmm.
calling us nerds.
Yeah. You're the one watching, bro.
Yep.
Uh, there's nothing wrong with that, though.
Well, how have you been for since last week?
Hmm, pretty good. I just finished photographing my review literally a few minutes before we started the stream.
Ooh, okay.
Because it was a busy weekend. I was like, no, I got to get this out. Uh, I got my big top figures of 2022 list basically written. I just got to take a couple shots for that.
Nice.
Because I mean, it's mostly old pictures because I'm talking about figures I already reviewed. But I try to put in a couple group shots of everybody on the list.
Okay. I remember the last one was good, so I can't
Yeah,
wait to see this one.
yeah. Oh, something that. Uh, hello, Izzy Miller on YouTube. Something I have fun with. Uh, Dragon Megatron's flame effect is 5 millimeter compatible, and so is Hot Rod's engine. So I'm like, when your engine's really messed up.
Yeah, that's like some like true '80s, like car racing. There's one movie that I remember. I don't remember the name of it, but basically it's like two gangs were rivaling each other in terms of like who had the fastest car, and one of them rebuilt a car, but decided to take like a bus engine to put in the car because that would be faster. And I'm like, in theory, that would actually be a lot slower, and it can't fit in a car, but for Hollywood, it works.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you something uh, cool about this version of Hot Rod. The pegs are now 5 millimeter. The original pegs were not, right?
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
which which means this version is compatible with most modern accessories.
Nice.
So this is not a Target Master version. It didn't come with that, but I have the new version of Firebolt that they put out in Huge,
Okay.
and it is compatible with this G1 Hot Rod. So I can make it
Interesting.
into the Target Master version.
Nice.
Yeah, and Daniel the man says it's love and support. Yeah, same to you. What's your cat's name? Asked Izzy Miller. My cat's name is Pepperoni. Most of the time we call her Pep. Uh, and the story I always like to tell is she is a rescue. My friends literally just found her in the woods living under their cottage when they were up in Muskoka. Uh, it's like a little kitten just living there, and she's named Pepperoni because they fed her pieces of pepperoni because they didn't have cat food around. Yeah, but they did have pizza toppings.
And here she is as a honorary, co-host of the Frenzy Freestyle Sunday.
Yeah, every time I'm here, she comes in. Yeah, but
Cool. So I'm.
yeah,
Oh no.
looking forward
Yeah.
to putting that list together.
And
That'll be out on Friday.
that'll be
My
up this Friday.
yeah, I don't see why not. It's basically done.
Nice.
And then tomorrow's review is, of course, the huge and impressive Dragon Megatron, Transmetal 2 Megatron from Legacy. A Beast Wars update of a figure that I actually had back in the day. And the new one is the exact same size, actually, as the old one. And the man on YouTube says, I love cats. Yeah, I wonder how much of a ratings boost I get from having this cat get all up in the camera every episode. I got another cat. He's just camera shy. Eh. So,
Well,
you
yeah.
love Cat Daniel the man. Does that mean you like any of these guys? Uh, Tigatron, Cheetor. Ravage, just pulling cats off of my beast shelf. Yes,
You know,
hi, hello.
it's funny that you have Ravage there, because there's an Instagram page that has a video, a stop motion video of Ravage and three air razors, and it, it's basically like a mini music video. But uh, I'll see if I can and pull it up on the screen. If you see it, you'll like. It's hard to describe it. You just have to see it.
Nobody can be told what it is. You have to see it.
Yep.
I don't know why my brain went back to the trailers for The Matrix before it came out, but that's where it went. Yeah. That's a pretty cool cat. So, they post at 77 on YouTube. Oh. It's a real source of ongoing comfort in troubled times.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Cats do have a an amazing sense of knowing when to be there for whoever's around them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. The reading affectionate sometimes do this. WheelJack jokes and complaints. Guest holiday plans recently his video response unboxings. Technically, I could unbox something.
Oh, okay.
Uh, I did not. Remember how in Transmetal 2 Megatron came to me without me realizing? I thought that I didn't have Inferno on pre-order, but they called me and they were like, "Oh, your Inferno's in," and I'm like, "I thought he was through. I didn't think I had one on pre-order."
Nice.
This is a lot of stuff I didn't intend to get right before Christmas, so I'm gonna
Hey,
take it easy in January.
well, you just went on the website and it's just like, ooh, pre-order. Click this. Click this. Click that one.
Yeah,
Click this one.
I 100% forgot about it. To be fair, I only do that with the Beast Wars guys because I'm trying to get all of them, but I don't do that with any of the other Beast Wars stuff.
Right.
So I mean, I won't get to talk about this guy to the new year, but the significance is he's the last one of the season one cast, so they're now complete.
So I guess out of the, how many seasons was Beast Wars?
Three.
How many characters do you have out of all three seasons?
Um, okay, so there's 14 characters in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and this is number 14.
Nice.
And out of the second season, they've only done Ravage and Transmutate, which that's just two of them.
Okay.
And then the third season, it's literally just Dragon Megatron.
Okay.
But also, like for example, Inferno is in seasons 2 and 3, and like he doesn't get a new body or anything, so like he still counts for all three seasons, right?
Okay.
Um, so season 1 is the difficult one because that's when it's like 14 brand new people. Seasons 2 and 3 have a smaller amount of like new bodies and new characters, so like they're over the hump. They could do the whole show at this rate.
Okay.
There's out of the second season, there's like Optimus, Cheetor, and Rat Trap get transmetal forms, and so there's Megatron and Tarantulas, and then there's the two Fusors and Rampage. They only got 8 more to do, and then the second season's done. And the third season, there was even less people. Optimus, Transmetal 2, Cheetor, Black Arachnia, Tiger Hawk, Transmetal 2 done. Yeah, they only got, no, Depth Charge too. They only got 6 people, and then the third season's done. So they could pull this off if they keep releasing them at this rate.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool to, yeah, for you to have that entire collection there.
Yeah, I mean, it's in shambles right now because I've been pulling figures off to take pictures all day. But I got just a box on my shelf there that is just the season 1 cast. So I'm looking forward to getting that all set up and complete.
Right.
I'm gonna take a couple of nice group shots whenever I get around to reviewing this guy sometime in the new year.
Cool.
Yeah, like Inferno was a really. This version of Inferno is like a really fun character though because he comes out as the stasis pod damage and he thinks he's a real ant. And he thinks the Predacon base is his hive, and he thinks Megatron is his queen, and he calls him that sometimes to Megatron's frustration.
Ah, okay. I've seen the joke, so now I understand the reference.
Yeah, but also he's like unhinged and psychotic and likes burning things, and that makes him a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you always need that one character that's unpredictable.
yeah. So that's his character all the way through the show.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So glad to have this one too. And this is another one where I had the original back in the day, and it came to pieces eventually because they made it almost entirely out of clear plastic, so all of its joints shattered over time.
Okay.
Yeah, not like immediately, just because it got like played with.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's what happened. Like, I mean, considering with like us being children and like all our early toys, like a lot of them just got wear and tear from playing with them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like to point out like I do have a couple of things here that have survived from childhood, but even they're a little bit worn out. Uh, like the G2 hubcap that I have isn't the original. I bought a replacement, but I still got this windbreaker from Generation Two, and all of his stickers are like peeled off and coming off, and his chrome's kind of scratched on his gun, but like his joints are still tight, so it made him durable at least.
Well, as
If
they say,
repro,
it's
yeah,
a
I
loved character.
yeah, I would love if repro labels did a set of upgrades for him, so I could like re-sticker him, but I think he's too obscure for them to do a set.
Okay. I was just gonna, yeah, ask you if they have repo labels for them.
Yeah. It's mostly just G1 guys that they have in their library. If you want to refurbish your figures, and
And
there's like,
no G2s.
uh, maybe I haven't looked recently, but it's just like the important staple guys.
Okay.
Yeah, and like this Armadillo from Beast Wars, he's also survived from childhood, and he's in good shape too. He's even his spring-loaded transformation still works. Um,
Well, what season is here? What character is he?
oh, this is one of the many people that were not on the show.
Okay.
You got to remember, like, Beast Wars had like a full line the same size as like an average year of G1, um, but they just picked like a few people to be on the show because they didn't have the budget to CGI everybody.
Right.
Like one of the Bay movies. So there's like a million characters that weren't on the show, and this is one of them.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, like maybe I can crack this guy open later on.
Now, within that, let's jump into some news. Let me see what
hmm
I can pull up here.
I just saw a couple of leaks that are all over Twitter that just dropped, so I wonder if the news has caught those yet. But I'll wait till we're done. If they haven't popped up, I'll find them.
Okay.
Yeah. Jack Lawrence, attend TF Nation 2023. Yeah, TF Nation is the UK one that I always hear is a great time. So if you got any UK fans, go to that. I know some people in the UK that go to it, and it always sounds really pleasant. Huh, he did the Valentine's Day special. Hey, oh, and he did Refuge Treads and Circus, and he did War's End. Nice. A lot of good stuff from the Brian Ruffley comics. I always plug in that list of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. War's End was like part of the finale, as it implies.
And let's see what else we have. There we go.
Oh yeah, this is cool. I guess this series, the pink hot rod, the cell shaded Starscream. I guess they're doing more of them, and they're going to reissue Hound in cartoon colors.
And it's
Uh,
I'm guessing he's a like a reissue of the G1 toy. It's just
yeah,
interesting. The chrome parts are again they went for like the light gray instead of the chrome.
yeah. That's something I'm not necessarily a fan of. They did it on the hot rod as well. They're trying to do like cell animation colors, which but I'm like I might get this. I've never owned a G1 Hound before, and he hasn't been reissued very much. He got a Transformers collection reissue back in the 2000s, and I think that's it. So you don't see too much of G1 Hound.
I have actually I don't recall if I still have him. But I had a G1 Hound from like originally, and he
Yeah,
is a bit of a complicated transformation mostly around the arms. The feet and the rest of him are pretty straightforward, almost like the Datsuns. But his arms are are a little bit tricky in terms of in terms of I wouldn't say breaking, but just how they designed the arms to come out when you swivel the wheels back.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna
so
say,
that
looking at these leaked photos, whoever was taking the pictures obviously couldn't figure the arms out either.
sorry they couldn't.
It looks kind of like they couldn't figure the arms out in the photo either.
Yeah, because his arms are supposed to come out a bit more.
Yeah, and there's a couple more pictures. Like they took a picture of his Jeep mode as well. But I'm surprised. I kind of wondered like how far this line was going to go, and if they're going to do more characters in this style. I actually think it's really interesting because like I didn't really get any of the uh, Walmart reissues they did a couple like recently. Like I got the Optimus because he was cheap. Um,
Right.
but like I could go in on more of these. Honestly, they appeal to me more than straight reissues.
Yeah, and I mean, like, why not?
Yeah, especially guys like Hound that are like less common.
Yeah, yeah. So it is a question of what other uncommon guys are they going to start reissuing?
Yeah. Oh, these things that have been coming out. These are cool. You know why? Because heavy metal got canceled. Um, it was going to be a mobile game
Okay,
by Niantic, the makers of Pokemon Go, which, like I said before, I still play pretty regularly. And it was going to be the same style of game. So you're
okay,
not like catching Transformers, you're like finding and teaming up with them. So this had like me written all over it, and then it got canceled. Like there was a beta, and then it didn't like get a full launch ever.
uh,
So yeah, it's sad. All this concept art that's been coming out has just been showing us like the character models that from this game that's not coming out anymore.
what was it? Like, did they mention what their reasoning of the cancellation was?
No,
It's unfortunate.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe it didn't seem like it was going to make enough money because like Pokemon Go is very non like you don't feel obligated to pay money the way you would in some mobile games, which is why I like it. But I'm like, how is this making money exactly?
Right. How many years ago was it? Has it been since it's been canceled?
Well, it came out in 2016. 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, you're talking about heavy metal. This is
Right.
very recent, like this year.
Okay.
Like it was in beta for a while, and they just announced they were pulling the plug on it. Yeah, but there's a bunch of characters. There's some concept art too. There's a hot rod. There's like slipstream, and, just a bunch of characters in this like new art style.
Right. Yeah. RC Jazz Roulette. Um, Shadow Striker. I don't know Shadow Striker and Roulette.
Uh, well, they're both botcon characters.
Oh,
Shadow
okay.
Strikers now has appeared in like Cyberverse and the new IDW comics, so she's like recent. And Roulette is her lesser known sister, so that's probably why she got put in the game.
Okay.
Like Shadow Striker is definitely there because she's been in like recent media. You know, much like Claymore, like being rescued from being an obscure botcon character.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. It's sort of like it happens a lot in modern stories. They want to use more female characters, but because there are less female characters, they go like diving through like the obscure D-listers and keep elevating them. And I think that's kind of really interesting.
That makes sense. And I mean,
Yeah,
and it's good for those obscure characters. Cause
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of fans of those obscure characters. So it's like Pipes, for instance. Like
yeah.
I'm happy to see a focus on Pipes after so many years.
Yeah, I think everybody wins. Like the gender balance is better, and then you get all these like D-listers that've never been any in anything suddenly get to be characters and stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So this is good. That's the figure I just had. So legacy. It's gonna get a re-released again in Legacy Evolution packaging. So if you missed out on this first burst, you can get it again. But other than that, it's apparently just the same figure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that I haven't really realized. Legacy Evolution is like a whole separate line. It's like Siege and Earthrise and Kingdom. It didn't occur to me until recently that Legacy Evolution is being counted as like another line. Hence why this is getting repackaged.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there she goes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my review will be out tomorrow. It's a great figure. Uh, leader class figures are expensive these days. They're not always worth it, and that's one where I think it is worth it because it's like huge and solid and substantial and covered in ratchet joints and somehow bigger than Kingdom Megatron even was, and that was a big figure. Yeah,
Yeah.
so glad more people will get a chance to own it. And thumbs up to you, Daniel V. Man. Read the reviews on childrenofprimus.com. Yeah, under news and reviews. I should count them. I had well over 100 at one point. I wonder if I've crossed the 200 mark.
You know what? Let's actually let me see because I'm actually in the website at the moment, and let me see if it categorizes them. 180.
180. Ooh, almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I stopped republishing my old ones as retro reviews because I ran out of them, the rate of them populating definitely slowed down because now everything had to be new. So that's probably why I haven't hit 200 yet.
Well, definitely we'll have to have a show for the 200 mark.
Oh yeah, I should. I'll record it. And I should make that something like. Oh, now I have ideas. I should make it something significant.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, I got ideas now. Oh yeah. So this, I don't care about spoilers. If other people care about spoilers, I respect that. But I personally, I read these because I'm like, I don't care. I I'm that kind of person that will look up how things end. you know. Um, but I always try to be respectful of not spoiling other people's experiences. So yeah, these are none of it's proven, but these are from test screenings. Um, my experience has been these things usually turn out pretty accurate. Sometimes things get misreported, or because they're test screenings, things change. Because the whole point of them is they analyze what people think of the movie, and then they send it back to the editing room or the reshoots or whatever. Um, but it sounds pretty plausible as the film's story. um, yeah, so it's just like it's not like a full start to finish synopsis. It's a bunch of bullet points of people like roughly recapping the broad strokes of what happens in the
Okay.
movie,
Okay.
provided it's accurate. Which well, again, it might not be. They might
Right.
be lying, or they might be cheating. I don't think they are because these things tend to be accurate, or things might have changed. But
But you know what?
it looks pretty. It looks pretty good to me. That's all I'll say.
Okay. And I mean, there's been, let's say with this upcoming movie, it's kind of created that huge debate again in the fandom in terms of just everyone trying to fight it, and argue each other in terms of updated movies and G1s and
Yeah,
variations. And so it's been interesting. It's slowly, like the pot's slowly boiling on just everyone fighting each other in terms of this movie.
yeah,
Which does bring in one comment from Caden. Is have you all seen the WheelJack toy for Rise of the Beast?
yeah. Maybe that'll show up in our newsfeed. That's one of the big leaks.
Yep.
And we know it's accurate because we saw like his vehicle mode and the back of him in the trailer. So
You
yeah,
know, let's actually if I can pull back up.
yeah. So we can see what it looks like here. I have I have slightly different opinions than a lot of people possibly, but I kind of want to pop it up on screen first if we can. Oh yeah, I guess like you had an image of him in your preview there.
Yeah, like I made the meme just like earlier in the week of the classic Scooby Doo, and I figured, well, if we're doing a real version of Wheeljack, then I'll do I'll do a real version of the character as well. And I forgot the
Yeah.
character's name. The main
Ed.
Fred. That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
So both cartoons, and then both to the real versions.
Yeah. But if anybody out there doesn't know, Fred is voiced by Frank Welker, aka Megatron, in most stuff. Um, and that's just his normal speaking voice. He just sounds like that in real life. It's the one thing where he's not really putting a voice on.
That's an interesting irony to have that within that meme.
Yeah, he's like he's performing a bit because he's being a cartoon character, so he's like really playing up the energy, but he's not doing a voice. That is just what he sounds like.
Okay.
Uh, there's yeah. Um, there was a big controversy when that last Scooby Doo movie came out, the CGI one, because Frank Welker was still doing Scooby Doo because he also does Scooby Doo because it's animal noises, but he
Okay.
wasn't doing Freddy anymore. They got somebody else. They're like, why would you not use him? He's the one guy who's done him in everything, and he's right there doing Scooby Doo.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, and and could be insulting of the like he is still a part of the cast. So why
Yeah,
wasn't he doing
yeah.
Fred?
At least they still invited him there. He was still getting paid and showing up. So,
Right.
oh, oh yeah, yeah. Needle nose. They kept teasing he had some secret functionality when they revealed him on those live streams, but they wouldn't say what it was.
Okay.
And now it's revealed that he can link up to the new Skyquake that got leaked. You can see the connection
Ooh.
right there. You can pop on top of him. They can
Let's
make
see
like
if
a
they have
double
him.
decker jet. I don't think we have a proper combined photo there, but just one stacked on top of the other. Because, like I said last week, the original Generation 1 Skyquake could do that with the Predators, which were like the jet team that he was like the leader of. They could go on top of him. So people think that Needle Nose is going to get repainted or retooled into some of those Predator characters, which makes sense if they're doing Skyquake, so that they're going to have the Generation 1 like functionality.
Nice. I mean, and these are characters that were from the comic book essentially.
Yeah. Oh no, these guys are even more obscure than that. Like this, Skyquake and the Predators, they're from that period where they were just putting toys out in Europe, and that's it. From like the very start of the '90s.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. There was no Marvel comic. There was no cartoon, and these guys weren't getting released in the U.S. They were only coming out in Europe. So this is
Yeah.
about as B-list as it gets. Like,
Yeah.
I,
It's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I guess the Transformers Prime was the first time Skyquake got to like do anything.
Okay, because I was gonna say it was interesting with the releases they were doing over in Europe. So it's like everyone in the American market had no idea that this was going on in Europe. So
Yeah.
for all the children over there, it's like this was their G1, so to speak, and it's like being introduced to like all these characters, then come back to the American market and like we have no idea who these characters are. They don't exist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this whole like Thunderclash is from there too. Uh, Overlord was from Japan, but he got a release belatedly as one of those European only guys.
Okay.
Uh, and that's why they made it's funny. That's why they made him a bad guy in Last Stand of the Wreckers.
Okay.
Because Nick Roche, who was one of the two writers, like had the Overlord toy as a kid, and it had no story because there was no fiction being put out at the time, and he just made up like, oh, this is a big bad guy, and so as an adult, when he was writing the comic, his Last Stand of the Wreckers, he made Overlord the bad guy because it was just like his childhood toy that he had that didn't have any stories behind it.
Okay, because say I do recall Thunderclash in the later comics, but yeah,
Yeah,
none of the other characters.
yeah. So yeah, this whole like obscure little slice of Generation 1. And yeah,
Let's
of
see.
all the things to reference that. Oh yeah, I guess another guy's making a masterpiece split swing. I uh, Professor D would have to comment on this. I know nothing about these guys except it's a new company, which is always dicey. What are the odds that it'll actually come out? It's like sometimes it's like that with a new company, unless
Right.
it's secretly another company that's just been rebranded. Which again, you would probably be able to tell us because he's got his ear to the ground when it comes to third party stuff.
Well, hopefully we'll see. We'll get to see more news on him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say another Blitzwing character. Like been, there's been like a handful of Blitzwings at this
Yeah.
point.
I don't know why this once again has a picture from one of my reviews instead of the actual photo.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay, so people were like mad about this, and I can sort of see why. Uh, so Deathsaurus, the HasLab campaign, it's over. Like it ended already. Like he's fully funded. Uh, the stretch goals were met. Like the big gun in the chair, they got funded as well. Big success. And now that the campaign is over, they sent an email out saying, by the way, you're also going to get these two Micromasters that are like new molds. They go with Holly and Fire from the Star Saber set. So people were like, "Why didn't you tell us before the funding was over? That might have made some people wanna fund it.
This is true.
Just now that we cannot buy these guys, they're like, oh, by the way, we're just gonna throw these in. Hi, Toy Warp Vintage Reviews, frequent commentator,
Hello,
first time video
guys.
guy,
How's it going?
uh, uh, model car knower. It's good to finally see you in person on the show.
It's good to be on.
Yeah, everybody watching this that hasn't watched his YouTube channel should subscribe. I said before, I don't know anything about like Hot Wheels or Matchbox, but you make it really interesting to learn about it. So
It's addictive. What can I say?
yeah, I like hearing about stuff like that. Where I'm like, this is a whole set of interests that is just completely new to me. So
Well, actually, on your main channel, actually, for thank you for jumping in, and welcome to our stream.
Thank you for
And
having
I'm
me.
cool, and I'm trying to fix my cameras. Like, of course, like that one episode, you want everyone to come in is like the camera just decides to like already take the Christmas holidays on me. So I'm gonna fix that shortly. Um, but I was
you now
checking
need
out
the
on a
radio call in.
yeah, but I was checking out on your channel. I don't usually watch NASCAR, but I saw that one video of like the one driver who basically got in like qualified by like driving up the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ross Chastain. That's a move that's usually reserved for video games, but he made it work.
yeah.
I, I've
That was the best part. Did you say like, oh, I used to play a GameCube game and it worked there, so I decided to try it in real life?
yep.
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
I would say Toy Warp. How long have you been collecting Transformers?
My whole life. Yeah, that's something that's never went away.
mm, not
Okay, I
even
know
for
the
a little bit in
feeling.
the middle there, like me.
Yep.
And Tristan Grimsby on YouTube is saying Cruisers Motorsports. I don't know the context for that right now, but yes, sure.
Yeah, a few of my subscribers. I let my subscribers know I was doing this, so a few of my subscribers probably watching.
Mm. Okay.
Cool. So,
Yeah.
I guess quick question. What are your thoughts on the upcoming movie for Rise of the Beast?
Ooh. Well, I'm I'm pretty hardcore G1, and I've never been a fan of the Bayformer aesthetic. Um, since it's kind of a sequel to the soft reboot of Bumblebee, it might not be terrible because Bumblebee wasn't terrible. I'm not going to say it was good in any way, shape, or form, but it wasn't terrible. It was certainly better than the Bay movies. But I'm not a huge Beast Wars fan either. I'm kind of with Scipio Prime on Beast Wars sucks. So I'll be sleeping in his camp tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of along the same line in the sense that I'm like, well, Bumblebee worked out, so maybe they can keep that energy going forwards. But like, I was not born into Beast Wars. I was born into Generation Two, but Beast Wars was my second thing. So I'm like, I'm all in to see these guys. It's appealing to me specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it really surprised me one time. The first time I ever turned on Beast Wars to watch a complete episode, I think it was 1997, and G1 Starscream was in it. As a matter of fact, it was G1, the ghost of G1 Starscream. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I think that's what stuff like that is kind of like what kept me as a Transformers fan. Because when I watched like the Generation Two reruns, it was like another thing that I watched as a kid among the other things. But like Beast Wars coming out and doing stuff like having the Ghost of Starscream there and stuff like that is what like made me feel really invested. Because I'm like, all right, this is an ongoing thing. This is a sequel to a thing I already watched. You know, now I feel like this is part of a big, important, larger story. But yeah. The Starscream's ghost was in the first season of the show, and he possessed Waspinator, the worst Predacon, and made him into a juggernaut for a while, and tried to take over both factions because he's Starscream, and it was a pretty good guest appearance. And we got to see a CGI Unicron really briefly in a flashback. Yeah, yeah, just the planet mode because I was like, oh yeah, I totally fell in battle protecting my leader from Unicron. That is exactly what happened, guys. And then he show clip of it. Yeah. I don't know. I still recommend everybody gives it a watch. The CGI is rough at first, but it noticeably gets better as the show goes along because they started like getting more money and the technology was getting better in real time. So by the end of the show, it's pretty nice looking.
Which is ironic because in G1 it was just the opposite. They started off with a big budget and they just kept trimming it down and trimming it down, and eventually sent the animation to overseas to where the animation really took a dump. So that's ironic that it would get better instead of get worse.
Yeah. It's all because ACOM said we'll do it for less money, and then they were like, sure, and then suddenly the later seasons look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your cat is really up in your grill this week.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I set a flat space here in front of me because like if I wanted to take any figures out to talk about, and she was like, "Oh, free space," and just got up here and was like, "Pay attention to me." So this is my life now.
So Daniel Leman on YouTube says Toy Warp is legit.
Yeah, good.
Cool. And Solhana from YouTube as well says, "Fair courage, your voice is fuzzy and there's an echo, but there also seems to be an echo when Daniel speaks." Sorry, or actually they corrected. I meant to say echo when Toy Warp speaks. So I mean, I wonder if the echo is just one of those StreamYard things.
Let me check something real quick. What am I feeding through?
Check it on your end because I'm getting the echo too, and I have a time for you. I can get spin just fine.
Okay.
Oh, there we are. Hey, how do I? Yeah, that was. I was not using my best microphone, and I just realized that, and I've switched it. So hopefully we sound nice and crisp now. Your quality on your end just jumped when I did that. All right, I think we're
But
back in business. Yeah, you guys' audio quality just jumped too.
Nice, we're
good,
good.
good.
Yeah, so hopefully that clears it up.
Well, for Daniel says better, and Sohana says yeah. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, there were 2 leaks that came out today. 2 new legacy figures. Hence why I wanted to see if they were in the news yet or not, because I just found these like scrolling Twitter like earlier today. Uh, one of them is animated universe Prowl. So Prowl from the 2007 cartoon that changes into a motorcycle.
yes,
He was
actually,
Uh,
I
like a
saw
ninja
that.
or something, wasn't he?
yeah, it was a case of them like using the name, but the character was totally different. He was like a stoic cyber ninja. And the other one is a new Junkie on that either they don't know what he's called or it's just called Junkie on, but it's a little deluxe motorcycle. Yeah. So I mean, if that Junkion can come apart like Scrap Hook can, that'll be a really interesting figure to own. Uh, Prowl's not my thing, but I know animated people would love to be thrown a bone. They have a big fan base, so I'm really happy for those guys.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing much of a toy line when it came to that particular cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, I was. It got kind of shafted at the time because that was the 2007 movie line was like really popular, so they kept releasing more of it, and retailers kept ordering that. So, the animated cartoon. It's so confusing because it's just called Transformers Animated. Yeah, it came out in the wake of the movie, so like its line became kind of hard to find because retailers were more interested in the movie stuff. So like it got a full line. It just was a little bit uncommon. So that's why them getting thrown a bone is always appreciated by a certain group of fans. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any of it. But yeah, you are right on that one. The God, the movie line was just massive. I remember it taking up 3/4 of an aisle when the
Yeah.
'07 movie came out.
Yeah. A lot of the random stuff from later on when they just started repainting everybody and throwing non-movie repaints in movie packaging, like the commentary at the time was that none of that was planned. They just kept needed to scramble to put out more things because retailers wanted more stuff. So it was like went on for way longer than like the designers had actually planned it to go.
Mm.
So that's like the initial reason why like this too many bumblebees would become a problem later. But initially there were so many bumblebee repaints because they were like, keep sending us stuff, and they're like, we used up all of our molds. We got to just put some more colors on it and throw it out there. Yeah, I'm more interested in the small junkie on because uh, they can come apart and weaponize, and you can build. They're like construction toys, basically. You can build combiners out of them. You can augment your people to be crazy powerful. Oh my god! Okay.
Welcome, Megatron. Are you on Cybertron?
Decepticons attack.
Voice isn't even bad. That's pretty cool.
I okay. It looks like it's so shiny that I thought it was CGI for a second.
It really does look CGI.
Like VTuber Megatron.
Well, I got the protector box
All right.
behind me, so I'm ready.
Yeah. Like I have a cat to protect me. Oh, it's Bill. I was literally like, I'm unclear on who is joining us.
Yeah, I'm like,
Aside from it being
I don't know.
Megatron.
I had no idea who was behind it.
I just there's I oh gosh, I'm gonna find a screenshot. There's a scene in Beast Wars where they they play a message from the original Megatron, that they come across. So they had and it looked exactly like that because it was just his CGI face there.
Welcome, Bill.
Bill's gone. Megatron is broadcasting from this beautiful room. Merry Christmas, by the way. Here at Children of Primus, we hold no discriminations of Autobots or Decepticons, but this one that lives here had to go. Look at this display. Shameful. Soundwave has been messing with him for the last few years, trying to block these broadcasts, but tonight I took care of it myself. I can never depend on anyone.
Where's Professor D?
Yeah, Cobra Commander and Megatron should.
Yeah, Cobra Commander.
Nope, my son dropped this off as my birthday present tonight.
Oh, that's very
That's
cool.
a pretty cool birthday present.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. That scene from Beast Wars is 100% where my brain went. I mean, I think the new helmet looks better than that, but
Yeah,
there
that's
something
an
in the
amazing
helmet?
helmet.
For you?
No air movement in it at all.
yeah, I thought that was a filter too. Says Dirt Moddy Ian on YouTube. These usernames, all these new people, by the way. Welcome to everybody. I don't
Welcome.
recognize most of these guys.
Bill, your alter ego is taking over. Yeah, this-
Oh, the guy's taking over his shirt too.
Wow, yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So, Bill, was
they-
there something in the helmet that was augmenting your voice to make you sound better?
no, I was doing that. I just dropped
wow.
my voice a little bit like this.
Oh, nice.
Wow, okay.
Yo, Daniel the man. He says on YouTube.
Well, I think one day we'll have to have a voice-off competition, and I'll start talking like Sea Spray.
Yeah, she's not going to be around to show it off because she's at work. But Jess can do the Predator noise extremely well.
Nice.
Dude, I have a buddy of mine, my best friend in the entire world, Charlie Red Door. He lives in Hawaii right now.
Yeah,
And he does this thing with his teeth. And it sounds just like that.
yeah.
I mean, it is eerie, dude. He'd walk up behind
Yeah.
people and just get right up behind them and go,
Yeah.
Peter Cullen, I went to BotCon 06, and I watched Peter Cullen do that to like 2 or 3 people. Just walk up behind him, and he can do it perfect. I'm not sure if he did it originally, but
he
it
did.
would make
It's
sense
on
if he
story.
did. But he was just walking up behind people, doing the flicky thing on top.
Yeah, no, he's the Predator voice actually.
Like this.
Yeah. He described at a convention once how he created the Predator sound because it was him. He said he looked at the Predator's face and thought it reminded him of an upside down hermit crab. And then he said he remembered seeing a hermit crab on a beach drying out and it was making popping noises and he started imitating that. It was a really weird story, but it made the iconic noise. So he was just like free associating and that's what he came up with. Oh, bother, says Daniel the man. Oh, yeah. Is he voicing Rhinox as well? I didn't know that. David Sobolov is going to voice Rhinox and Battletrap. So that's the closest thing they have to a legacy casting in there. David Sobolov did Depth Charge on Beast Wars. He was the Manta Ray from later on. He's in the new movie as those two characters. So, it's sort of a return of somebody, but I feel like it was a coincidence. Yeah. I'm just, I said this last time, like, Ron Perlman, he's done Optimus Primal before, so him being there, I guess it makes sense, but I'm a little disappointed they didn't get Gary Chalk to come back as him, because, he's still in the voice acting game, and, like, there's that shot in the trailer of, like, the Prime and Primal talking to each other, and I'm like, it would have been really cool if they had both original guys doing a scene together, because they'd never done that before. They never played opposite to each other in anything. So I was a little sad about that. But that's really my only complaint at this point. So,
Which I know some people are complaining about. The one guy who's doing the voice for Mirage. Um,
uh, is it Pete Dav? Is it the same Pete Davidson that's like the comedian and stuff?
yeah, and the thing is,
I wasn't sure.
I don't really watch his work because I know most of his popularity was Saturday Night Live, but I more watch SNL from like way back in the day. So the last 20 or 30 years just hasn't been funny to me. So I don't know of him, but everyone's like, oh, you know, like they're kind of hating him being the voice actor. I'm like, I mean, it's a voice acting. Like
Yeah,
regardless, he may do a good job or a bad job. Like
yeah.
I have no opinion on it.
I wasn't even sure it was him till now because Pete Davidson is such a generic name. I saw it and I was like, what, the SNL guy? Like, surely it's just somebody else. I'm like, oh no, I guess it is the SNL guy.
Yep.
Like, okay, let's see what he does with it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the weirdest bit is Michelle Yeoh being Airraiser, which is like a strange bit of celebrity casting because she's like a huge name, and I'm like, okay, let's see what she does with that role.
Yeah, like I saw the image after, so I realized who she is. I'm like, that's like she's an iconic character
Yeah,
for
she's been in
to.
everything, so
Mm-hmm.
you've seen her in something.
Yeah,
They probably didn't bring your guy back to do Optimus Prime and have Ron Perlman do it instead because they needed the name recognition and the star power of Ron Perlman.
Yeah. I mean, that's the real reason, definitely.
Is everybody else able to hear him? Because he broke up horribly from where I'm at.
It's a little poppy on my end, but
My apologies. I'm doing this with my phone. My YouTube videos are all voiceover and scripted, so this is something pretty new to me.
you know,
I understand the phone thing. I have only recently had internet at my house ever.
yeah.
I was so far in the sticks. Yeah. I used to have to broadcast from my back porch because I didn't get enough signal in the.
It was kind of cool. It'd be like out in the darkness with like coming to you from an undisclosed location in the middle of the woods.
My kidnappers are letting me talk for 20 minutes. Let's talk Transformers.
Have you ever seen the Blair Witch Project?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my house is.
Oh, literally where it was filmed?
No, but I live in 5 acres of woods.
Yeah, okay.
When we had our first Halloween party here, one of my sister's friends drove up, and when he drove back in here, he goes, "You got a real nice Blair Witch Project going on here, buddy. So I'm here to tell you now that as soon as the sun sets, I'm leaving."
You should
He said, "There's no cell phone signal. You don't even have a street light." I was like, "We got a bonfire." Yeah.
You should do some found footage and have the jump scare be the Megatron helmet.
Yep.
Like have the lights come on. Yeah, just all of a sudden that just whip the camera around and lunge that into.
Yep.
That would be great.
So, Kaden on YouTube asked, do you all have some death predictions of characters in this movie?
Oh, good lord, death prediction. Well, I mean, historically speaking, I would be surprised if any of the villains walked away from this because the mortality rate in the live action movies is really high. They're like the only character that's got a figure out that we've seen is Battletrap, and I'm like, this guy has a death flag on him because he's like the generic villain. Like he ain't making it out of the movie.
He's wearing the red Star Trek outfit. It's just go down to the planet. You're never coming back.
Yeah.
From the one preview, are we going to get like drone Decepticons?
It looks.
That's what
like
it kind of looked like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I imagine that's going to be a high death toll right there. The drones are going to be the easy. Oh, we're not going to kill anybody's favorite. We'll just blow the hell out of these no names.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like now that you ask about like death predictions, like it'd be kind of a bummer for Nightbird to finally get a movie appearance and then not live past the movie. So,
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with Jazz in the first movie.
Yeah. Maybe they've learned from that. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think there has been a movie yet where the main bad guy actually lives to the end, so I don't think Scourge will survive. Because I'm like,
Oh,
Megatron gets killed in 2007. He gets better, but he dies. The Fallen gets killed in the second one. Sentinel Prime gets killed in the third one.
Hmm.
Lockdown gets killed in the fourth one. Quintessa turns out to be alive, but they think she's dead. So, and then Shatter gets blown up in Bumblebee. So I'm like, nah, Scourge is probably not going to live. Historically, I'd be surprised.
The other thing I'm thinking is, at some point, like they'll probably have another Optimus death somewhere within the movie.
Well, if not this one, then it'll certainly happen along the way.
Hmm.
Uh,
I did not watch the Beast Wars stuff. I know that Courage, that's your thing.
yeah.
Um, the bots, I mean, like the actual car transformers and stuff like that, they weren't even in that, were they?
No. Uh, they were the Maximals and Predacons are their descendants. Uh, so it's they go to this planet and everybody changes into animals because the energon levels are so high that it actually overloads them and they need the organic protection, and that's the premise. So no, there's no carbots on it.
So if this is the rise of the beast, what if we're getting rid of all the vehicular bots?
I would be surprised if they do that. I
I
I mean, my,
isn't that what they did with Beast Wars, though? Or I guess that was just kind of a different timeline, wasn't it?
yeah. Like it wasn't. They didn't wipe them out. It's just this was the Beast Wars is set 3 centuries after the end of the Great War. So it's like the distant future.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a new generation of characters. None of the other guys are around. They don't. And like the setup is that it's like a small group of people on both sides that get stranded on a planet. So like they're away from anybody that may or may not still be alive. They don't even really specify because it's just its own, like it's just happening off in a little corner.
Yeah, which makes me wonder how they're tying in Beast Wars within the '90s.
Yeah,
Because definitely that means there has to be some form of time travel within the storyline.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying. That's a thing in Beast Wars, right? I'm trying not to spoil anything from the old show because I think everybody should watch it. And some stuff happens. There's some twists as it goes along, but
Hmm.
like the pitch is Beast Wars Megatron's trying to make it to Earth because it's still known as an energon-rich place, and so he steals a trans warp drive. That's where the term came from, Beast Wars. And Optimus and his people follow, and the chase winds up taking them all through transwarp. So they don't know where they landed, but they also don't know when they've landed. So they figure they've time traveled. So it's part of the premise, right? And where
Well, it
and when
shouldn't
they
be a
are is
time
a
travel thing
spoiler.
for the new movie because aren't they? The Bumblebee thing happened mid to late '80s, so
Yeah,
they just say some time has passed. And with the way they do something always hidden on Earth that's a MacGuffin that will help them take over you know, the the uh, the beast machines probably were going to be there the whole time.
yeah, that's what I'm
Hmm.
assuming. Like from what I've seen, like they're like, oh, we've been here forever. We've been guarding something or other. Maybe it's a golden disc. I don't know. That would be thematic, but uh, that's what I'm presuming.
Tristan on YouTube. The LOL. Last time I watched SNL, the church lady was still a character.
I don't even know who that is. So
I'm
Well, you
trying
know
to.
who's responsible for that. You think it might be Satan? That's the church lady. If you've ever heard somebody say something, well, you know who's responsible for that? That'd be Satan. That church lady was a skit on Saturday Night Live.
What year was that?
Oh,
Um.
late 80s, early 90s. So
Okay,
when I
so
was in high
that's
school.
okay. I mean, that's around the same time. I think I kind of remember who the church lady looks like, the character.
Yeah, I was for sure not watching SNL at that point in my life.
Yeah, I could say the same thing.
Uh, Dirt Moddy Dylan says Skywarp is still stuck in the 80s.
I mean, you ain't got to bust me out like that, really.
Hey, nothing was wrong with the 80s. I mean, I still listen to 80s music.
I did the
You
cry. I
know,
thought he was
it's
talking
considered
about like.
classical now. Our 80s music is considered classical now. It's 30 years old.
If there was like one of the
Let's not
oldest.
say that too out loud, huh?
It's funny because he said Skywarp, and my brain was immediately like what, the Transformer?
Oh, so my on the main cruisers channel, I go by Skywarp. So
Yeah. I figured that out, but I was like, I don't. Yeah, it's an '80s character. What do you?
We had an oldies radio station. I was just in the city, like in the city next door to actually a couple cities next door to us. They were one of the oldest oldies stations in Canada, I believe. And they only just went off the air maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. But they always had like the 60s, 70s, and then slowly they started bringing in the 80s, and I'm like, 80s music is on the oldies station. I'm like, y'all making me feel old now, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I might be a little younger, but I had that experience too when the '90s stuff started becoming classic rock. So I've had that happen. Do y'all know Shatter is supposed to be partially based off from Nightbird? Said Caden. Yeah, they said that in the last movie. Like Shatter's an original character, but they were like, we based her a little bit on Crasher, a little bit on Nightbird. There's like DNA in there, so Nightbird being in the next one's kind of appropriate. Have y'all watched Kingdom? Yes, I did.
I watched it as well.
I thought it was the best of the three shows, but that's slightly faint praise. It was okay, but it wasn't great in my opinion.
I personally
yeah,
like
I
all of
didn't.
them.
I actually put a review on that on the Toy Warp channel.
Yeah.
On the on that 3-part series. I don't understand why everyone in there was talking like Captain Kirk from the original. Like Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek. Why did they space their words out like that?
That's because it was done by Rooster
I was
Teeth.
going to sleep because the dialogue was going so slow.
Yeah.
It was done by Rooster Teeth, which is an American-based anime company, and they do
Yeah, they
a
did Red
couple
versus
other
Blue.
things. They did oh gosh, was it Ruby, the RWBY,
Yeah.
and that's where you get the same, where it looks like they're walking in place, like their feet are moving, but they're not moving at the speed of the scene behind them. That's a classic Rooster Teeth animation thing. So everybody looks like they're moonwalking.
They ran around so much too. It's like you can transform into a car, right?
That was my biggest complaint with that whole series, is that there wasn't enough transforming. Unless you were a jet or a seeker, it's like it takes too much animation to make wheels turn.
I remember like Bumblebee and Wheeljack, for example. They did it like it was More Than Meets the Eye Part 1, where you could tell they were supposed to change into a Beetle and a Rally Racer because they still had the parts, but they didn't want to design Cybertron mode, so they just, neither of them ever transformed the entire show.
Right.
It was a strange choice.
Like I said, I enjoyed all three of them. I think that the storyline was very rushed.
Yes, I was going to say that.
They could have taken their time and done this in 3 or 4 seasons,
Yeah.
and it would have been phenomenal. I don't know if they just didn't have the backing for it or what, but I mean, hell, the toy line sold like mad. They had to have funding.
Yeah. I mean that was my impression too. It's just, it felt weird. Yeah, like they had limited resources, and that kind of most of the problems sprung from that, in my opinion.
I mean, that's a small studio to begin with, though. Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth is a very small studio. Mm-hmm. It's about the size of my room.
I mean, that's a big accomplishment for them, though. But yeah, the slow talking and then just kind of the rushed storyline is would have been my only complaint as well.
Yeah, I will say, like, the quality was on enough of an upswing that kind of I was kind of disappointed that they didn't get to make Legacy, because they obviously teased it at the end, and we know the Legacy setup was supposed to be Unicron in the multiverse. So the fact that they didn't get a fourth part, I was a little sad about that, because I'm like, despite everything, I wanted to see where they were going with it.
Hmm. Yeah, because they did kind of leave it open ended on that last episode.
Yeah. Well, no, it's fully like it was fully going to be, because they don't really have a story for Legacy out there, but like during the live streams and stuff, the designers will talk about it, and they're like, our premise for this toy line is all these people from all these different universes wash up on this shore, and I'm like, it ended with Unicron being like, oh, this gives me an idea, pulling people at a time. So like, it was going to be that.
Hmm. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
oh,
I'm
sorry, go
thinking
ahead.
about.
Yeah.
I'm like, it might have been. Skids never gets to do anything. Skids was a Wave 1 character. This might have been the one time he got to have a significant role in something.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
And another thing that got me about the show too was Cybertron was just dead. I mean, it was just lifeless. I mean,
yeah.
you're supposed to be able to watch this and care about the world they're in, the fact they're fighting over it, and care to get the Autobots to win the world. You didn't. The world was so boring and bland. You just didn't care about it.
Hmm.
This is the part where I cape for Brian Ruckley's comics. I got 4 volumes now. There's 6 total, almost complete. Oh, how did that Dreamwave thing get in there? Yeah, World in Your Eyes is the first one. 6 hardcovers. They wrote this around the time Siege was out, so a lot of the character designs look the same, even though it's not the same universe. Like Elita One, Bumblebee, Optimus, they all like look like they're Siege versions. Um, and it's the same sort of thing. It's how the war got started, and it's about a Cybertron that's like a full society. They really like dive into it, so they make you like they make it like a living, breathing world with a culture and stuff, and then we get to watch it kind of slowly come to pieces over all these volumes. So yeah, that's the version that like I recommend to people who want like a world they can care about in this early war story.
See, myself, I'd recommend the High Moon games, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron,
Yeah,
because it was just so much more massive in those games than it was in that latest Netflix thing.
yeah, I got some fond memories of War for Cybertron. So yeah, I agree. Um, if only I mean, you could probably still play them on your modern hardware, but I'm like, hey, they could do a collection of that. They probably should do a collection of that.
I
You
haven't
can
had a
still,
chance.
yeah, you can still play it on the newest. I'm on Xbox. I know I can still play it on Xbox because I got the games and I turn them on every once in a while. The online thing went away for them, I think 2 years ago. But
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, as long as you got a hard copy of the game, you can play it.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I got good memories of that. So yeah, that also was a pretty good look at a full planet coming to pieces.
So,
Those games are masterpieces, says Caden. Oh yeah. He also says Dinobot and Tigatron's voices should have been swapped. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember thinking that too. He's talking about Dinobot and Tigatron and Kingdom. They kind of sounded like each other. Dana Carvey? It was Dana Carvey, the church lady?
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So that's around the last time when, at least for myself, when I found SNL kind of like in the funny stages, when Dana Carvey, who else was like Phil Hartman,
Rest in
like that
peace.
whole cast, yeah, like that whole cast was like the funniest set. Before like they all branched out into their solo
When
projects.
you had all of the Wayans brothers on there.
Adam Sandler, yeah.
See, every single one of these people I know from the things they were in later. Also, hi,
Same.
Charlie.
Hello,
Hey Charlie,
how you doing?
good. How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Charlie, you missed our guest appearance earlier.
Oh, here.
I seen the
Here we
cat
go.
on earlier. Oh. Nice.
Yes, we had to come on here and we had to take this human out.
I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons.
Oh.
That's crazy.
It sounds
Wow.
like new Welker dialogue too.
Crush you with my bare hands.
Can y'all hear the voices it does?
Decepticons, attack.
Oh yeah, really clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Does he do
super clear
Fred?
for a speaker. Because I'm used to these things being a little bit
Tiny,
tinny.
though. Up inside of it, my head barely fits. So this is definitely made for a kid.
I got like a huge head, so it definitely wouldn't fit me.
Well, it's
I got a
supposed to have
melon
this. It's supposed to have like a hard hat liner inside of it that you could adjust.
Yeah.
So I put all that in, and I couldn't get it down like this far on mine. They go don't. And so I had to take all that shit out and just take the pad and stick it up in the top of it.
Oh boy,
And
definitely
even
wouldn't
then,
fit
I've
me.
got to rock it down so that I can see out the eye hole.
That's weird because in all the Transformer groups, I've noticed it's all adult collectors buying that for themselves. They ain't giving it to them kids; they're buying it for themselves. So that's gonna really suck for them if it's made for a kid's head and you ain't gonna get all the way down on their head.
Well, I think that whoever the manufacturer should have realized that. It's like, the real fans of that's gonna buy that helmet. Like, these are guys who are all in their 40s, early 50s. Like, not the children.
I mean, some of these are for kids, but like the a role play helmet that says the phrases, yeah, that does feel like a collector targeted thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially because it's like not cheap, right? It's like a fairly pricey big thing. Yeah.
Maybe you just got a big head.
Oh, I know I do.
Yeah.
I know.
No, like
I
I
do.
said, I admit it. I got a melon head. Whenever I trade headphones with Jess, she always like these things are at like their maximum, and I got to shrink them down for me. So
Wow. Well, Katie on YouTube says, and the Megatron voice in the show, don't let me get started on him.
which one's he talking about? Because I thought
For
the G1
Kingdom.
Megatron, yeah, I thought the G1 Megatron was fine. It's the same guy that did him in Prime Wars. But
Right.
yeah, I remember the Beast Wars Megatron. It's like, that's not great. That's not David K. That's not even trying to be David K.
See, I have no opinion on that because I didn't see any of the Beast War stuff other than the new stuff. So I don't have anything to compare it to.
Oh, something that I've heard from multiple people about the War for Cybertron trilogy shows. Apparently, they're better in the Japanese dub with subtitles because their voice actors like did a better performance. So I've heard. And also they got the original Beast Wars, Optimus Primal, and Megatron to come back for that show for the Japanese dub, which was cool. And also apparently they were like they fit these roles a bit better than the Western voice actors do. So I mean, like I don't have any plans to sit down and watch them again, but I'm told that I'm like, if you watch it in Japanese with subtitles, it's like actually a better experience.
Nice.
Peter Cullen was in the first one though, wasn't he? He was in the first one. There was somebody else, and somebody else did Megatron, and then there was somebody completely did it different that did second and third one, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember which ones had Peter Cullen, which ones didn't, because the other guy's John Bailey. He's one of the guys that sometimes subs in for Optimus and stuff.
Yeah.
The rather notoriously, John Bailey did all the did the initial round of performances for Optimus in Bumblebee. Like, he's still in some of the trailers, and then they brought in Peter Cullen to redo all of his dialogue. And like, apparently neither of them were like too thrilled about that because John Bailey was like, "Oh, my performance gets overwritten," and Peter Cullen was like, "I have to match somebody else's thing that they already did." So it was a little bit messy for both of them.
Speaking of Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, those guys are 71 now.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just wonder how close they're going to be to retirement, because I'm sure they don't want to do it forever. And Frank Welker has a pretty tough time anymore doing the voice of Megatron,
Yeah.
of G1 Megatron anyway.
Well, I'll tell you this. What was it, last month? 4 weeks ago? Yeah, 4 weeks ago from this weekend. I met both of them in Indianapolis, and Peter Cullen was awesome. But yeah, they're getting old. You can see the age on them. But Frank Welker, I don't know if he's slipping or if it's just the way that he does it. He has done over 50 different voices throughout his career in cartoons and anime. And so it wasn't just Transformers fans that were waiting in line for him to sign. It was people with Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
And Warner Brothers and all this other stuff.
The voice Slimer and oh God, yeah.
Whatever you brought up there to him,
he did the voice.
He did the voice, and he talked to you in that voice.
Nice.
Yep, he did the same thing for me when I met him. Yep.
And so I'm just like, does anybody know what his real voice sounds like?
Well, apparently, Freddy from Scooby-Doo is what he really sounds like. He's just doing his normal speaking voice, so he sounds like Freddy.
But I thought that was pretty cool, and we were in line for a little more than an hour because we went to Peter Cullen first because there wasn't a line there, and they were side by side. There was already a line forming for Megatron or for Frank Welker. And so we got to see Peter Cullen, and then we went out. We were, I don't know, maybe 75 back. The line went fairly quick, but as we got into the queue, we were up by the stand, and just listening to all these voices ramble out of this man's mouth. The dopey shark from the Laugh Olympics, from
Wow.
the old Scooby-Doo, the Really Rottens, the Scooby-Doobies, and I can't remember what the third team was in the Laugh Olympics.
Yep, I remember those.
But there's that shark that kind of did that thing. And somebody had a picture of that, and he kicked right into that son of a gun. I was like, look at this guy go. He takes a drink of water, next person comes up, and now it's, look at you. And then I go up with the Megatron, and he jumps right into it. I was like, holy shit.
I think he even made the sound for the Terminator. I remember him in a video talking about that.
Well, we were just talking, that was Peter Cullen.
Oh, was it Peter Cullen?
Yeah,
he did the Predator.
Yeah, Predator. Yep, that was it.
See, when I went, Frank Welker, two guys ahead of me had a sealed in box G1 Mirage, beautiful piece. And when he did Mirage's voice, that's when I really started noticing that he was doing the voices. And man, I was 6 years old again. It just took me back that quick, and it was awesome.
I'm just shocked he remembers everything. I would find that hard to keep track of.
Well, you know what I was thinking? It's like, even though that both of them are aging, if they really love what they're doing, they'll keep going. Cause funny enough, just speaking with a friend the other day, we were talking about Betty White, and she was 99 and still the same character that we've known of her for decades, because she just loves being that character of a person. So I could see them going, another 20 years if they're able to, if they really love what they're doing.
Oh, because I just thought of this. Should look this up at some point. There's a video out there because Frank Welker's the animal noises guy, so he did all the lion roars in The Lion King, and there's this video of him doing some of the voice work. And so he's just at this microphone. For some reason, he has a metal trash can in his hand next to him, and he's reverbing the roar out of it because it does something.
Nice.
So he's just there holding this trash can, and he has realistic lion noises coming out of his mouth, and he's growling, and it's really good. And he just kind of stops and ends it, puts it down, and he's like, "How's that?"
Yeah. That's cool.
It's an art form. It's really an art form.
It is.
Yeah, it was really fascinating to watch, and just the trash can really threw me.
Katie on YouTube says, y'all should do Beast Wars tier list for a celebration of the movie. That would be nice.
Now, what kind of tier list? Because there's a lot of things you could list in tiers. Remember those Dick Dastardly days, great voices, says RJ Eagle. Man, they still reran that stuff when I watch cartoons, so yeah.
What's up, RJ Eagle? He actually went to school with us many years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yes, welcome.
It's just so many people coming out today.
Well, I'm gonna say Frank's actually lucky his career extended, because when they did the video of the toys that made us, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a parallel video of the downfall of Hanna-Barbera. And it's like people don't connect the two, but if you watch the downfall of Hanna-Barbera, within it, they mention how that studio was like on top of like every cartoon because they had Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and then like everything was Hanna-Barbera. They slowly started losing their footing in the market because of cartoons that were coming out that were created as commercials. The cartoons were commercials for the toys, but they never. And basically, that was the Transformers, GI Joes, and Thundercats and everything else. So their downfall was the rise of like everything that we kind of grew up with after.
You know, the Hanna Barbera did GoBots though. I guess they just backed the wrong horse.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what I just brought up, Frank Welker, American voice actor, has done over 800 different character voices in his career.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
when you said 50 earlier, that sounded kind of low.
Yeah. I was like, remember, he's the guy they always call when you want to do animal sound effects. So, like, I wonder how many of those are just animal noises and things.
He is considered the greatest voice actor of all time. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I wonder if they consider Peter, Peter to be like one of the greater commanding voices, considering like his voice of Optimus.
Actually,
and then,
he's in the top 3 of most notable voice actors, or most recognizable voice actors.
Mel Blanc's got to be up there too.
Oh yeah.
yeah, Carr from Knight Rider, and then also the intro voice for the old Voltron cartoons.
Oh yeah, Mel Blanc. Jeez.
Oh yeah, he's classic.
I remember hearing him as Carr when I was a kid. I didn't put two and two together. I put two and two together when I watched Voltron as a kid, but not Knight Rider when we was Carr. And then I watch Knight Rider historians on YouTube, their YouTube channel, where they have actually got the original tractor trailer that Kit drove into. They've got 2 of the original screen use kits.
Nice.
They really know what they're talking about. And they said that they mentioned something in one of their videos where Peter Cullen did, because Carr was in 2 episodes, and the first episode that he was in, Peter Cullen voiced, but then they said that somebody else voiced him in the second episode.
Oh,
So
okay, I never noticed that.
Well, me neither, because it sounded pretty much like Peter Cullen anyway. I don't know if they reused his voice sound from the original from the first episode, or maybe they just had their facts wrong. I know they're really on top of what cars were used in what scenes and what dates, like what production dates this episode went on, and blah blah blah. I don't know if they're too far up on their voice acting thing, but yeah, I do remember them saying that it was a different voice actor in the second episode.
I think I've seen that channel too, and like they like know pretty much like every detail about Knight Rider, including like there was a train derailment, I believe, that had the production vehicles. Yeah, like that channel has like every detail of Knight Rider, which is kind of surprising.
So
Caden is suggesting
The
that
guy is a
it's
massive
3
fan.
characters. Yeah. a tier list of characters would have to be entirely me, because I think I'm the only one here that watched Beast Wars. Well, I'd bring Jess in. She watched it with me last time we watched it. She has opinions. Rat Trap would be S rank. It's scary rewatching the show and realizing that he was actually probably the most effective Maximal. So it's not just like, oh, he rules. I'm like, no. He was like really good at his job. What's up, Mike?
You were talking about him being. You were talking about Frank Welker doing animal things, and I'm just going through his list from 1962 to current, and there's so many of them on here. Like this one right here, it just says beaver, badger, mole, and goat.
Somehow that's why somehow he figured out his niche. He became the animal sounds guy. They always need animal noises.
In 1978, he did 32 episodes of a show called Fang Face, and his name was Fang Puss.
Oh, never heard of that one before.
I haven't either. It's going to be my next third.
Is it about vampires? Is it about wolves? Now I want to know what's
the
up
new
with
Fantastic Four in 1978. He was Herbie.
Caden says, "Oh, Rat Trap and Beast Machines was cowardly." Oh, he went through some stuff.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. He was the voice of Heckle and Jekyll.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah, you all won't know who that is. Heckle and Jekyll were two Magpies cartoons when we were kids. Well, not kids, from 1977.
Mm.
Sounds familiar to me. Yeah, I
wonder what he did in. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wondered what he did as Herbie in the Herbie movies, like the horn sounds, because Herbie kind of talked through his horn. It's like sound. I wonder if that's what he did.
No, that wouldn't surprise me, actually.
The show was called The New Fantastic Four.
Oh, that Herbie, the robot.
Yeah, Herbie is a robot. Herbie.
Oh,
all capital.
Was RG Eagle says, was Rat Trap still cowardly after his transmetal transformation? Probably less so. He wasn't. No, see, no. Jess would be mad if she was here, yo. Rat Trap wasn't cowardly. He was pragmatic. He would refuse to get into situations where he was in over his head. He was a survivor. I wouldn't call him a coward. I would call him extremely realistic and kind of a pessimist.
That's funny.
Yeah.
In 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark as the special vocal effects for everything, uncredited.
Wow.
I like how it's just for everything.
Everything.
As special vocal effects voice for everything, uncredited in parentheses. So evidently, I guess he's not in the role at the end. He was the narrator for Zorro the Gay Blade. Hefty Smurf from the Smurf for 422 episodes.
Jesus.
I remember Hefty, yep.
Yep. Hefty was the manly man. He was the manly Smurf.
Mm-hmm.
He did Iceman Bobby Drake for Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Nice.
Which also in that cartoon, Dan Gilvezan, the voice of Bumblebee, G1 Bumblebee, was the voice of Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, he has a book out that I always meant to read. I heard it was really good.
It is.
Bumblebee.
I read it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Put that on my short
He tells a story of Wally Burr, who was the voice director that got all the G1 cast together for Transformers and G.I. Joe and a bunch of the Sunbow stuff at the time. And he said that the guy was just an absolute perfectionist, and that he would send Peter and Frank into the booth and do recording, and sometimes they'd be in there for 8 hours, and they'd literally like crawl out of the booth at the end of the day.
Yeah, I always heard he was like a real driver.
Okay, so apparently he was the voice of the General Lee for the Dukes of Hazzard.
It had a voice?
I guess
Maybe
for
the
the cartoon.
For 20 episodes, I get maybe there was a cartoon in 1983. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, they
I
had a
remember
Yes, there
cartoon
was.
for like
Yeah,
a
there
yep.
season.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is, 1983.
I was going to say everything got a cartoon at that point, so that doesn't surprise me. It was what does surprise me is they made their car talk.
Yeah, back then, like any popular shows got a cartoon, or popular cartoons. They then tried to make a kids version, like Flintstone Kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about how it's hard for him nowadays to do the gravelly Megatron voice, and I remember when he came back for Transformers Prime, how he performed him with a completely different voice, and then when he replaced Hugo Weaving and started playing him in the live action movies, how he was doing his prime Megatron voice instead of his classic Megatron voice. And I'm like, I bet the new voice was just because he's like, this is easier for me to do in like an ongoing series role.
Yeah.
He was the voice of Inspector Gadget.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like all the way through? Like
for 22 episodes. I don't know how many episodes there were.
There has to be more
they
than
just
22
repeated
episodes.
over and over.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks, 173 episodes.
Well, I mean, how can you tell? You crank the you crank the speed up, and there could be anybody doing that voice.
True.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like.
Oh, do y'all remember the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He was the voice of Tiamat and Uni, the unicorn, the little unicorn that ran around with the heroes.
Yeah, Peter Cullen played a character on that show. I forget how to pronounce his name. It starts with a V. And it was a bad guy, and
Venger.
yeah, Venger. And the
if I'm not mistaken, he was also the Shadow Sneak.
Yeah, Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, the evil version. He's never been portrayed in any animated media, but according to the guys that created the character for BotCon, they say he's supposed to sound like Venger from Dungeons and Dragons, as performed by Peter Cullen when he talks.
Oh, wow.
That's how they wrote him.
In 1984, there was a tit flick. Is that an American term? Do you know what I mean by a tit flick? It's a rated R movie that's got a good plot, but there's a lot of naked breasts in it. It's called Up the Creek, 1984, and he was the voice of Chuck the dog. And I remember that I love that movie because of that damn dog.
Sure, it was because of the dog. Yeah. It had to be the dog. Yeah.
Oh no, trust me, there's a lot of good views in there too. But yeah, Chuck the dog. I'll be damned. That's funny shit. All the things you see when you start looking things up.
I'm not sure how to take this comment here from Polar Knights on Twitch. I love the men's cams. It is the perfect evolution of beard growth. Maybe if we go like counterclockwise.
I think so. That is quite the comment. Thank you.
Well, I work outside, so from November to March, I grow my beard out. And it's come Friday, it's going to be the high is going to be 11 degrees here.
For myself, this is as much as I can grow. So
yeah,
that's what I normally have. Just Fu Manchu. But
I just kind of stopped shaving in the winter.
11 degrees?
Yeah. Yeah, the high for Friday is 11 degrees here.
I think it's going to be the same here.
I think it's going to be minus
I ain't
something
doing that.
for us.
Yeah, it was snowing out when I was outside earlier, so it's around that temperature.
We're supposed to get blizzard like.
Man, here it is. I thought it was a family-friendly podcast, and you go and use a four-letter word like snow.
Oh, okay. David Cabello Vargas on Facebook. Yeah. I think he was the voice of the villain Inspector Gadget. Yeah. Frank Welker was Dr. Claw because Soundwave's voice was the Dr. Claw voice. They just put a vocal filter on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple of random errors in G1 where they forgot to put the filter on him, and he was suddenly in Dr. Claw's voice for like a line or two, because it was the same voice.
Actually, that's what was it? James Avery, who was Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince, who was also the voice of the Shredder in the Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Yeah.
There's an episode in the Fresh Prince where Uncle Phil just loses it on the Actually, let me back up. An episode where Will and Carlton are in jail for driving like one of Uncle Phil's friend's cars, and Phil and Aunt Viv and the friend have to go in and get Will and Carlton out of the jail, and the police are like, well, we caught the guys who stole the cars. I'm like, no, that's my son and that's my nephew. But he gets so angry at the police that he sounds like Shredder. Like while he's yelling at them.
He just lapses into the Shredder voice.
Yeah, it's complete Shredder voice.
Yeah. I saw a documentary some years ago about like the Ninja Turtles, like the whole franchise start to finish. And this was back when he was still alive, so they'd interviewed him for it. And I remember him talking about how he did Shredder like he was doing a theatrical villain in a Shakespeare production. And that was where he came up with the voice.
Nice. So, Kata on YouTube has a question. What's your favorite cake flavor? Mine's red velvet.
I have a very specific answer, and it is ice cream cake from Dairy Queen.
That's good. That is a good cake.
Yellow cake, just a yellow flat sheet cake with milk chocolate icing on it.
The classic.
I like strawberry cake. It's I rarely have it, but I do like it.
We got a local restaurant here called Munchie's 420, and they have a s'mores cake.
Ooh,
that's it.
They know their audience.
I like the ice cream cake from Dairy Queen.
What was it? Oh, this other one from 1986. There was evidently a 22 episode run of a cartoon called Noah's Ark. He was for 22 episodes. Additional animal voices.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the voice of God.
No.
It's like, no, additional animal
We'd have
voices.
to go look at it and see which one it was. Be hell with Megatron coming down. You.
And David
also, I happen
says,
to have the s'more bot in front of me.
Oh,
and
nice.
Said, yeah, they had a s'mores cake. It's because I was taking a picture of it earlier. Burning it with the fire.
140 episodes. He was Ray Stantz in the Real Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. So David
He's also
on
Slimer.
Facebook?
Yeah. So
Yes.
Slimer, but for Slimer it just says 15 episodes.
They definitely repeated his lines.
So let's go through all the comments. David says, I love a good tit flick. That was every 80s, 90s action horror movie, which is kind of true. And let's see. Afosket77 says, listen here, we've gotten over a foot of snow in the last 48 hours.
Where are you located?
Yeah, I was going to ask, where are you located?
I hope it's not near me, therefore I'll have to shovel that soon.
D!
Hey, Professor D's in the comments. Back in my day, beer was so long I could braid it. Yeah, look at Megatron.
Professor D! We've been waiting for you.
It's mine. I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons.
Yeah. So when is Megatron versus Cobra Commander happening, Professor D?
That would be the battle for 2023.
Yeah. Yes, I remember the one G1 episode where Soundwave says, excellent Ravage in a different voice. Can't remember which one in season 1. Yeah, that happened a couple times, but yeah. There'd be one line where they forgot to put the effect on.
Mm-hmm.
Optimus doesn't always eat cupcakes, but when he does, he likes red velvet. That makes
I think
sense.
he liked Energon.
Daniel says cool, and also says Dairy Queen doesn't sell ice cream.
What
Cakes.
it does? Oh, ice cream cakes, or unless you're being like technical about them selling like frozen treats because they don't call it ice cream. But
All
well,
right.
whatever they put in it, whatever it's called, it's good.
Crack.
Yeah.
It's addictive.
AfroScat77, West Michigan. Oh boy, anybody here near there? I do not know my American geography, so you could.
It's 4 hours. 4 hours west of us, so not that far away.
You could blatantly lie to me, and I'd believe you.
So I can't take all that cold weather. I'm in Florida, so low. I think it's supposed to be 65.
Oh, we're in Florida.
I'm in Sarasota. It's about an hour south of Tampa.
I grew up in Bradenton.
Oh, that's next town up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm stuck in Nebraska because of the Air Force.
Oh.
Looks like Professor D thinks that's the best mask ever.
Yeah, D, my son dropped it off today that was my birthday gift. My birthday was last week.
Happy belated birthday, Bill.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, what are you, 28, 29?
49.
We're not telling the kids how old we are.
I'm 25 and holding.
Yeah, I wear mine proud. Yeah, my daughter graduated, my oldest graduated college yesterday.
Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah, that was a big ordeal.
Did you say oldest or youngest?
My oldest. My youngest joined me in the union trades.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, he's my apprentice.
Yeah. So I like to say I was a '90s kid, so however long ago you think the '90s happened is how old I am. I'm locking you into the same existential funk as me if you want to answer that question.
Actually, you know what? I have a question for everyone, and I think it's in terms of a technicality. When they say, you're a kid of a certain decade, is it being born in that decade, or is it the decade you were more of a child and remember?
It depends on what they're referring to, because like when they say the years that molded you, so your teen years.
Years.
I consider myself to be an 80s kid because those were the years that I was a teenager.
Oh, that would make me a 2000s kid? I was born in 88.
Wow, 88 was that was my last year of junior high.
88 was my freshman year of high school.
Wow.
The reason I know that right off because that's the year that we won state in football.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I would consider myself an 80s kid then. So, because I've seen one of those debates where I'm like, well, you're born in the 70s, so you should be a 70s kid. I'm like, yeah, I remember some stuff from the 70s, but I was still, I was still too young to go out and do anything. So I'm more of an 80s kid.
So I was thinking about
when the original Transformers came out, I think I was 6.
Yeah, that would have been right for me. G2 was 93, 94, so that'd make me like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the G2. If I remember correctly, the G2 was like the G1 cartoon, but it was like repackaged with some CGI, like in between scenes and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was just reruns with like scene transitions that were new. So like I sort of grandfather myself into the G1 stuff because I was watching the same show. So
well, it's interesting going back and looking up the history of G2 because for on the American side, G2 was in a sense repackaged and some recolorization of G1, but in the European market, G2 was an actual like its own entity. But also looking back at the G2 or what they've served to us as G2, they only replayed specific episodes, and a lot of it was kind of disjointed, where they played some of the season 1 episodes, they completely skipped season 2, and some random episodes of season 3, and the movie, and that's what they packaged as G2 for the
Yeah.
American market.
Yeah, because I didn't see the movie until I was older. And yeah, like you said, it was most of the first 2 seasons, but they threw in a couple random season 3 episodes without context of the film. Because, like I mentioned, I knew about Starscream's Ghost because they aired that episode, even though it was a third season episode. As a kid, I was like, I don't know who most of these guys are, but Starscream obviously died off camera, and now he's a ghost. Whatever, I'll run with it.
Yeah.
Did they have
appa-
a G2 cartoon?
No, it was
in
just
Europe?
reruns. They didn't have their own. Yeah, same thing. They didn't have a new cartoon yet. They had new comics. I only read them this year as part of a book club I'm in. It was Simon Furman came back. They did 12 issues. It's a sequel to the G1 comic. It is extremely 90s. It's kind of a fever dream. Like,
And it's dark.
Yeah, everything is big guns, gritty teeth, spit flying, people dying. It's almost a parody of itself. It was also really fun to read because of that, but I don't know if I'd call it legitimately good. But
No, I think that like the one panel that really caught me off guard in the when they did the G2 run of the comics was Hotspot um basically self-destructing to take out like some of the Decepticons. I'm like, I like Hotspot. Like that,
Yeah.
like you just never see a character do that in any other part of G1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It wasn't even taking out the Decepticons. It was because Cobra had a bunch of stuff from the Ark that they were taking with them. And
Right.
Optimus, and they're like, we can't let them get their hands on it. And so, Hotspot decides to self-destruct to like stop the convoy. It was like really dark.
It was.
This was like Furman at his most. Let me kill everybody.
Well, I mean, right on the cover from the first issue, they're like, this is not your parents' Transformers.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I really like the Legacy G-Axis figure that they did was, especially in the head sculpt, they really made him look like his 90s art. Like, I can't even get him to focus, but like, he's just the most scowly, scrunchy-faced thing ever, and he looks exactly like he came out of the comic book panels.
Yep.
Just pure 1993. But yeah, the show was the same, so like, I pretty much watched the same episodes as
You guys
everybody else.
mentioned the T1 movie earlier. I actually had a pretty funny story on that. So I didn't see it until I was 22 years old. Okay, growing up, Transformers was on 4 o'clock every day, season 1, season 2. When the movie hit, they moved Transformers to 2:30, and I didn't get out of school till like 2:45, so I could run home and catch the credits. That's all I ever saw of season 3. So I spent like my whole teenage years and into my 20s thinking that Optimus Prime and everybody lived, and everybody, there was never any closure for the story for me, so I didn't know anything. So I'm living with a buddy of mine's parents, and his dad is an ex-Marine, real gruff, I found the movie in a video rental store one day, and then took it home, popped it in, and they got to the Optimus Prime death scene. And I'm watching it in my room, and I got skater tears up to here. I'm trying not to let them drop, but I'm like, I'm just totally flabbergasted. And just that time, my buddy's dad walks by my room. He stops and he looks in. He looks at me and he sees I'm about to cry. He goes, "Are you okay?" And he comes. He looks at the TV. He looks at me. Sees I'm watching the cartoon. He's confused. And then the scene ends, and I break. I mean, the tears drop. There's snot. There's embarrassment. I mean, it's just.
Wow.
He literally just walked backwards out of the room and just didn't talk to me the rest of the day.
Yeah, I missed this formative experience. Sort of. I didn't see. Same thing. I used to compulsively rent the film whenever I went up to my grandma's because a video store had it. But I was a little bit older. I was like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, I think. Um,
Well, well, I didn't get the. I missed out watching the movie when it first came out in '86. I didn't get to watch the movie in the theater until the re-release. Um, was it like about 4 or 5 years ago?
yeah.
And actually, funny
2015.
enough, right? Yeah, and RJ in the comments, he also and Mike as well. He also brought his children. So we're thinking
Yes,
it's
Orlandi, I'm looking at you.
it's an
Somebody's
interesting
making a full
experience.
report.
It's like we're reliving our childhood watching Transformers on the big screen, but we're bringing our children to watch Transformers on the big screen for their first time.
Oh yeah, I still have that. I still have that poster.
Nice.
I
That's
remember when
Megatron
I
head.
took my when I went to go see it in 2018. Uh, I noticed because it was on the big screen, there was a lot more detail in that movie than what you could
Yeah.
see on just like your regular TV. There was so much detail in it.
Yeah. The backgrounds are in particular. They like really went off on them. Yeah. Blu-ray today. If you got a good TV, you can watch it like that too.
I actually picked up the Blu-ray, the one that came out a few years ago, the anniversary one, the special edition anniversary. I picked that up, and you guys are right. There's a lot of details that you pick up in there.
Yeah. Now, interesting bit of trivia. There's a later version of the movie. It would get shown on TV sometimes. I saw it because YTV would sometimes show it as reruns. Because they wanted to flip the decision to there's the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because they were bringing Optimus Prime back on the show, and because they realized they goofed by killing him in the movie. There's an edit that you could see on TV where at the end of the movie, they spin the head spinning around and they zoom out and they have a little extra Victor Caroli narration at the end who's like, he's like, and so they won and they did this, whatever, and soon the greatest transformer of all, Optimus Prime, will return. And then they roll the credits. So they were like doing damage control via adding this extra little bit of narration at the end of the film. I just thought it was like kind of funny.
Yeah, but it was an afterthought because it wasn't in the theatrical release. That was in the VHS.
Yeah, they were 100% like this was later on. They were trying to backtrack. They had to reassure everybody at the end that Optimus Prime was going to get better.
Sure, that was that cash cow, right?
Yeah,
you can't lose on that. They got to milk that cash cow.
Yeah. So, let me catch up on the comments. Kanan on YouTube says, if there was one Autobot and Decepticon that you wanted to be in a movie, who would it be and why?
Oh, well, I mean, I want to see them give Hot Rod another try. And if it has to be new characters, maybe put my obscure guy Hubcap in there and let him do something in fiction that is not a comic for once.
I've mentioned this many times in our past videos that we've done, past shows, the Decepticon Justice League.
Decepticon Justice Division.
Sorry. I was just reading some comments about what's happening with the Justice League and what happened with Superman and Batman and all those characters that got canceled. But anyways, yes, I want to see the Decepticon Justice Division in there. I think they will have an incredible story.
Yeah,
I want to see it. Protectabots.
I was going to say the movies do sample. Oh yeah, Protectabots. Go ahead.
Protectabots, Combaticons, and Omega Supreme. Like I would want to see at least one of those three.
Stunticons for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean those movies do like their car stunts, so having a team of cars to do like the automobile stunt stuff seems like a natural thing to put on the big screen.
You know what, Anthony? I actually want to keep on going on that theme and Bill too. I'm really surprised they didn't use the Stunticon like in the Bayverse.
Mm-hmm.
Now they used the records, which kind of came close to a certain degree, right? But I'm really surprised they didn't use the Stunticons.
There would have been a lot of action happening.
Exactly.
Well, a big problem with adding cars into the movie is the licensing for the cars.
Yeah.
I think
That's
they
why
would have
there
got
was-
away with Dark Side of the Moon because look at all the other cars that they brought in, right? They were able to
The
get over that
NASCARs?
the NASCARs, but there were at least the Ferrari and the Mercedes and all that, right? So maybe they had some deals in place. Oh, they just needed the Lamborghini. They had the what's called the Audi in there as well too.
Oh yeah, the Decepticon they got
Already
cut in
got
half.
Porsche,
Yeah.
Corvette, and Ferrari. All they gotta do is get a Lamborghini and then the other cab over truck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to go pick up my partner from work, so talk amongst yourselves while I'm out.
My man, I'm
Right.
going to be gone by the time you get back. It's almost time for me to jet.
Oh,
So,
see you in the new year then. If anybody's
sir.
gone when I'm back.
All right, Ans, we'll talk to you soon. So instead of a Anthony moment, sorry, instead of a just a moment, that was an Anthony moment.
Yes.
Keep the comments coming because I can't read them from here.
Okay, so David from Facebook says, "I love good Fudgy the Whale from Baskin Robbins." Or was that Carvel?
We're on the gay conversation still. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Holy-
falling behind there.
Holy Fresh Prince of Bel Air there.
And Daniel on YouTube says, "Toy Warp equals Senior Gray Bush."
Okay.
So I know that's an inside joke for you guys.
Probably, yeah.
And David says, "Ooh, I was born in '81, and those were my Saturday morning cartoon years. I would consider the decade after the mid to late '90s as the formative years." And Professor
Okay, that's
B
great. But like, what decade would you say that defines you? Like, if you could say you're an '80s kid or a '90s kid, which would it be?
Right.
You know what? It's weird because for me it all depends because I was born in '76, right? So the '80s influenced me a lot, but then the '90s was like that's when you got your license and you get to drive around your freedom, so you have a little bit more of a I guess a funner time. I don't know if funner is the proper word, but like more of an experience kind of time in your life, right? So, but I would consider myself an '80s kid.
That's what I was saying. 80, your teenage years.
Yeah.
13 to 19, that's when you pretty much define who you are, where you're going to be going.
Yeah, the Saturday morning cartoons. Remember that vividly. Like I'm flabbergasted with the kids today, right? It's like you get up first thing in the morning, you run downstairs or upstairs or the same level, depending if you live, in a condo or a bungalow, whatever, right? And you're pouring your Cheerios or your Fruit Loops or your Tony the Tiger, your great Frosted Flakes, and putting on the TV, and you're there for a good couple of hours watching your cartoon. Those were the days for me. Now it's like these kids are like they just get up and throw on YouTube and they can watch everything and anything.
Oh, there's too many options.
Or
for them.
Tubi or something like that, right? Yeah, there's so
Right, we
so
didn't
much
have
option.
those options.
Right.
Exactly.
We got an hour of cartoons after school,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had Saturday morning cartoons, and those stopped at 11. And so from 11 o'clock on, your ass was outside.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Except for I remember because I grew up in Ohio, and my cartoon stopped at noon. And if it was too cold to go outside, you were usually stuck either watching a Godzilla movie, a Smokey and the Bandit movie, or golf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us, it started at 6:30 or 7, depending, and then depending on your rabbit ears, right, which channel you can pick up, and then it will stop like around 11 or 12, like how Bill said. We go outside, and then after that we get called in, and then especially on Saturdays, it was Saturday Kung Fu matinee hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right on Fox 29, and then after that we'll go right back out again.
And then
until the
that's
wee
what
hours of nights.
and then that's where the Sunday morning cartoons came in, because Saturday mornings were already popular and oversaturated, and then that's when Fox decided, let's start Sunday mornings. That's when Transformers came in. Transformers, Gem, I think Robotics, and a few other things before. And the popularity of that is then what pushed them to be Monday to Friday in the second season.
You watch Jim?
Yeah, a few of us watch Gem.
I watched Gem and the Holograms. I got no shame. I remember watching Rainbow Bright because I love the dune buggy that the black and white guys had. I just absolutely love that dune buggy.
I don't remember if I watched Rainbow Bright. I mean, there's a few odd like what was it, Foofer and a few other odd ones that were just probably lasted maybe 20 episodes or something back in those Saturday mornings.
Okay, I'll confess to one. Punky Brewster,
What, the cartoon or the show?
the show, and the
Yep.
cartoon sometimes. Okay, because she was punky. We got Professor D saying, "Bill, happy belated birthday, big bro." There.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, RJ. That's a high school what's it called, a high school classmate back in the days. RJ, I agree, Mike. You're an '80s kid. I think in terms of what we remembered and cartoon was most relevant then, as opposed to the '70s. Kids in the '60s remember '70s stuff like Shogun, Warrior, etc. Professor D again on YouTube says it sucks when they moved Transformer up to 3:30. What were they thinking? Whoever got out of school that early. It's called skipping off. Okay, I read 3 of them in a row. Who's next?
Okay, so David on Facebook says, I know Transformers and G.I. Joe go hand in hand in the 80s and 90s. Is that the explanation of the weird jump the shark colors that happen in all of the 90s? Yeah, I know people enjoy.
I don't know what that.
Well, yeah, the late '80s and early '90s, everything started going the way of the really bright colors.
Neon.
And that wasn't just in toys. I mean, that was just like culture in general. Like MTV kind of went from a more drab color palette to everything really, really colorful. So that was, like I said, not just a toy thing. That was something that just culturally happened.
Yeah, because you got to remember, we started with like black and white TVs, and it kind of went to color-ish, right? Because we had a lot of antennas. We didn't have cable. Well, and where we grew up in Canada, like cable was like not. We got cable before. Sorry, we got cable after Americans, basically, right? And so we had to pick up a lot of channels with our antennas, and there was only 2 channels that we picked up from America. Was Fox 29 and what was it, Channel 7, Buffalo?
Yes.
Right, with what was that guy that always did his cartoon, Roger something? The guy that always said it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
It wasn't Commander Tom, was it?
Yeah, Commander Tom. That's it.
Yeah.
And so
Actually,
we were. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was gonna say when
Gentlemen, I have to go. The Megatron is signing off tonight. I've got this boy over here in a coma, and they say he's got to be up at 3 a.m. for work. So we went ahead and knocked him out. But I'm going to go ahead and turn his stuff off here. You all have a Merry Christmas from Megatron. And remember, you saw me here first on Children of the Primus.
There you go.
There you go.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and all the best. Okay.
Merry Christmas, Bill.
See you guys. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Take care, my friend.
Same to you, sir.
Stay warm.
Always.
That's funny. An American telling another American to stay warm. We're the Canadians. Yeah, so we were able to catch those channels, and those channels were like fuzzy at times, right? But then as cable and better TVs came along, then yeah, you're right. That's when all those bright colors came in, because that was the thing to catch our attentions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do agree. The '90s went really colorful. I can say that. That is very true.
And it
So,
just
all right.
just happened to bleed into toys because it was the in thing at the time.
Oh yeah, look at the G2 characters, right? They're like amazing colors choices, and I'm being sarcastic. So
Well, they
we
did the
got
same thing with the GI Joe guys too. I mean, they're supposed to be in camouflage and mixing them with the jungle, and they made the guys look like they were wearing reflective
Yeah.
gear designed by Banana.
yeah, or
Nerf.
half naked, especially in the winter. Um, RJ again from YouTube says, "What was awesome being the kids to see Transformer the movie in theaters. Thanks for planning that, Mike. Or does that credit to goes to Professor D?"
I'm trying. Who arranged all of that? I think it was just we just collectively all arranged that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened quite a few years ago? I don't. I guess Mike. I don't know if Spin explained that. Quite a few years ago, there was Transformer the movie's '86 re-release at one of an old cinema in downtown Toronto, and we decided to go watch it, and we brought all our kids. And the cool thing about it as well too, after the movie was done, there was like a Q&A, and there was a band. I keep on forgetting their names.
The
Like
Cybertron Esprit.
that's it, and they were playing some of their music gigs and all that kind of stuff after the movie was. So that was pretty cool. But the
Oh,
cool thing,
Cybertronic Spree, the guys who dress up as the characters.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh God, I want to see those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're cool.
actually pretty fun. Yeah, they're pretty fun. They're cool in a sense that, you know what, after the movie after they did their gigs as well too, they did some Q&As, right? And they're pretty long. It's not like, okay, we're here for 5 minutes and we got to go now. Thanks for the money, bye. Right? So it was a good experience, and I think and the kids had a really fun time as well too, right? And it was great as parents get to see our kids have those same kind of experience and reactions watching the movie. So we actually got to see our kids do that, like how our dads got to see us do that, right? So that was pretty cool.
You know, it's interesting rewatching the movie with our children. You then see how violent that movie actually is. Because I mean, considering a lot of shows and cartoons and everything, like between Knight Rider, A Team, and everything we grew up with, I mean, the violence was there, but we didn't. We I don't know if you'd say mentally blocked out most of it, or we understood the difference between TV and reality. But then watching it on a big screen, I'm like, there's a lot of violence in that original movie, and I'm like, ooh, this is a bit much for because some of our children were young, and I'm like, at the time we kind of limited certain things that they wouldn't watch on TV. But then it's like Transformers the movie. I'm like, this kind of goes beyond those limits. In terms of like in terms of like the shootouts.
Well, yeah, because everything on TV was highly regulated when it came to violence. No one could
Yep.
die on screen on TV, and no one could get hit by a bullet. To get hit by a bullet in the '80s on TV was kind of rare too. Like the A Team had a bazillion bullets zipping around. No one ever got shot.
No one.
Oh, even in G.I.
No
Joe.
one. Yeah.
If you notice in G.I. Joe, like, no human characters, but all the robot characters got blown up or shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how's it possible they're able to hit what were they called, bats? How are they able to get hit and these guys can? Like these guys are stormtroopers.
It was funny.
The
I
same
think
way
with
in
I was gonna say maybe with the A Team in theory, it's like, well, they were already on the run from the government, so they're not trying to like add a murder charge onto their previous charges. So they'll just shoot around everyone, but they won't actually shoot anyone.
They're wrongly accused.
Yeah, this is true.
Well, say it was the same way in Voltron too, because the Robies that Voltron destroyed were all mechanical, beings. So yeah, it wasn't actually killing anything that was sentient.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the only time when children were warned in a sense, or was brought up in the media that children were mimicking these violent, cartoons or whatever, it was either A, wrestling, like WWE or F, whatever you want to call it, because we were actually doing those movies, because we did that, or it was later on with Power Rangers.
Yes.
It was
And
never the cartoons that we were watching, but it was later on with the live actions. That's where they started to complain.
And I remember in the couple of streams ago when we were talking about of the passing of the Green Ranger, and I remember working with children after school, and the daycare at the time, and a lot of the schools did not allow anything Power Rangers related in the schools or in the classrooms, because like basically every child was coming to school just like ninja fighting each other, and they're like, you guys, like, just anything Power Rangers, don't bring it to school. I don't ever remember that for Transformers, Thundercats, 18, like we never had a ban on anything, but they had a specific ban on Power Rangers. And I do remember some of the kids would come to school and they were like just attacking each other, like as if they were all ninjas. Essentially just like what we would do with WWF. We're all pile driving and body slamming each other and doing like leg locks. So essentially it was kind of the same thing, just a decade later.
DDTs.
Yep.
Well, I remember when the Turtles came out in, what was it, 87, 88, a couple of kids ended up dead because they were climbing down in the sewers to reenact the cartoon.
Well, yeah, I had to find them. Yeah, I remember about that. Interesting enough, if you look at the original comic books from the Ninja Turtles, they were actually dark.
Oh, very
dark. They were actually printed in black and white and very dark until one of the owners or one of the founders basically said, you know what, we got to make some money out of this stuff, and that's when he decided to make it kid friendly, right? And look where they are
Peter
today.
Laird.
Yeah.
The first not cartoon, the first movie was somewhat had a dark nature in parts of it. I mean, they couldn't go too dark, but the first movie was exactly that. But then you could see the change to the second and third movie where it was basically just like a kid's show. Like the costumes were completely different.
Oh yeah, and if you think about it too, we used to watch all those kung fu shows too, right? And even some of those it's called kung fu movies, like Revenge of the Ninja. That was like one of the biggest one, right? And we made like nunchucks. I don't know about you guys, but I made a nunchuck.
I made some.
Yeah.
Right. We made like like ninja stars out of what's called popsicle sticks. Right. And then when you throw them, it exploded. Right. You're like, wow. Right. So I don't know. Like I think maybe there was a huge maturity gap with us, meaning we're much more mature, versus the kids later on became very less mature. Because I remember at 5 years old, 6 years old, walking home from school by myself, or running to go watch and I was literally running to go watch my Transformers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Today, if any kid is running home at 5 years old, right, next minute you're gonna have CA knocking on your door.
Yep.
Right. So that's that's the only thing that I can. That's my that's my opinion, and that's what I see today, right? So we got Daniel here. He says, "All right, I've been talking poo-poo this whole time, but I actually going to give you a real comment, guys. This is fun listening to you guys talk about what you're passionate about. Real talk. Thanks."
Yeah, that's one of my guys. Yeah.
Okay, and RJ here. I'm sure everyone watched Care Bear.
I watch Care Bears.
That movie I remember the movie scared me as a kid.
Care Bears movie?
There was something like I don't remember what it was, but there was something really scary in that movie. And it oh God, yeah, that movie gave me nightmares.
Wow. I don't remember the movie. I remember like a couple of the episodes, but not the movie.
Interesting. Oh, we got Anthony that's supposed to be picking up his wife there, commenting saying GT colors are amazing and assault on the eyes. Yes, they were assault on the eyes and to the brains. Looked up Cybertronic Spree original tracks. Cybertronic Warrior. It's a jam. It spreads. Hey, have we talked about? Okay, hold on. Professor D on YouTube again. Kids who grew up without violent cartoon end up. They're soft, which is true. Question: did you guys talk about the movies?
As in the new one coming out?
Yeah. You guys make any comments?
Yeah. Yeah, a
Is
little
there anything
bit.
new?
Well, some of the figures came out.
Actually, Charlie,
Already?
what is your opinion of the new WheelJack?
I don't like it. I'm disappointed. Unless they can do something like somebody showed an image where the glasses, whatever, fold out.
Yeah.
And they're on the side. I was like, if they can do that, then maybe. But I don't know. I just can't believe that they went from the Bumblebee movie to this movie. I was like, they're doing so well.
Yeah, they were.
You're not voting for Pablo there?
No.
So
and they got RC. She's good, in my opinion.
Well, they gotta something weird up every freaking movie because remember in Bumblebee, and we're all excited because it looked like we were getting like a G1S Starscream. Oh no, that's Blitzwing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Bumblebee wasn't perfect either because of crap like that. They always got to screw something up.
Mm-hmm.
Like part of their quota.
I agree in that aspect. Where they screwed up, Starscream, made him into Blitzwing. I kind of maybe understood why, because Starscream. Because you got to remember the movie is still based off of the Bay universe, right? So I could understand why they put that as Blitzwing because they don't want to confuse with Starscream, right? But oh man, I was like shocked when I saw WheelJack's figure.
Oh yeah, kill WheelJack.
Sorry,
Think about it. I wonder if they're going to kill WheelJack off. So they kind of just made him like, oh whatever.
Hello.
Here we go.
Anthony's only allowed to stream for 10 more minutes because I've been gone all weekend and I want to watch the Muppets Christmas special. So you only have him for 10 more minutes.
That is understandable.
That's it. That's a decree from Jess. Okay? And then all of you got to get off and also watch the Muppets Christmas special because it's top tier. It's really great.
Top tier.
Bye-bye.
That was her moment.
That was just a moment. Sponsored by.
In the chat.
Hey, send me the link. I'll link it in the chat.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah, you got to put it on YouTube because it has not been officially released anywhere, which means you're well within your legal rights to just watch a YouTube rip.
Nice.
Well, speaking of going, gentlemen, I have to because my phone's going to die. But thank you so much for having me on. It's been a blast. I've been wanting to come on for a long time and shoot the shit. But yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for joining.
Yeah. Well, you got it to us right before the break, but hopefully you'll be back in the new year when the rest of us are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we don't hear from you anytime soon, again, Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas, guys,
and all the best for the New Year's as well too.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
All right, guys, talk to you later.
Cool.
See ya.
Take care.
Take care, sir. And you know what? And that's the beauty of the show. We like people to jump on that wants to talk about Transformers, and the door is always open for anybody that wants to jump on and we do appreciate, Toy Vintage. Bill. I know Calvin's not here. We got Chara. D wasn't able to come on, but again, if anybody want to jump on and to shoot the breeze with us, right? You're more than welcome. But at the same time, too, please hit the like button, make comments, please subscribe. It will help the show, help us, and help you to find us as well. So please do that.
Oh my, no. No.
Yes.
Snook's acting the fool.
Oh, okay. I thought she was talking about me there for a second. That's why I replied back, yes.
It wasn't
Yeah,
in
so
my
we're just,
favorites anymore, and I thought I got deleted.
Oh, okay.
hey,
I
tell
almost
Jess.
had a fucking heart attack.
Tell Jess you get attacked in another 5 more minutes for interrupting us.
Yeah, good luck.
Just look at my cat instead.
All right. No, I was just gonna say, it made me laugh. I don't know why they decided to change WheelJack. Okay, I don't want to get into that whole argument why they changed WheelJack into a Volkswagen, blah 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 blah, right? But the whole fact that they completely changed his whole head, his whole body. He's a Latino character, which sure, if you were gonna do that, you guys already saw my comment, so I'm gonna be nice about it. And I'm a guy, and I can say this because if you really think about it, WheelJack is an Italian New Yorker kind of character in a sense, but they decided to make him into a Latino. That's fine. Oh, we got Torp Vintage Review. He forgot to mention. Thank you all for the support on the Torp channel. Merry Christmas, guys. Hey man, always support Torp and his channel. We're glad to promote it. You're a great person, so why not? And so now we got a big head of Anthony there.
Here's a Bumblebee WheelJack for reference.
See why they didn't just go with that? Why they had to totally change him?
I did think it was weird.
Yeah, and so just to finish my thought off, like if you're gonna go with this, kind of like a Latino kind of character, I would have gone with a lowrider. You saw my comment already. I would have did a Cutlass Supreme lowrider with hydraulics on there. Playing.
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill in the background. So that's just my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And if you don't like it, too bad.
Brooklyn 1994 would fit right in.
Exactly, right? If you're going with that theme, right? I would have did that, especially Cypress Hill.
Anthony, I sent you 3 links for Discord.
On Discord?
Yeah.
I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Okay, we're going to get the link now for the Muppet. Personally, I'm going to go watch
I sent
Peaky
Anthony
Blinders.
3 Discord links. One of them being, the Muppet, the A Muppet Family Christmas, which is the best Christmas special of all time, in my opinion. And then I also sent the Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, because that is also iconic.
Mr. Bean, yes.
Amazing. And then I also sent him a link for a very amazing Christmas song that some of you probably have not ever heard of, because not everyone grew up having the live action Grinch soundtrack. But it is Jim Carrey as the Grinch and Busta Rhymes. So you're welcome.
What happened to Die Hard?
Yeah.
Is what happened to Die Hard?
Was a baby. What? Die Hard's not a Christmas special or a Christmas movie.
Sure it is. Die Hard is one of the
Well, no, it is a Christmas movie.
ever.
It's a Christmas movie, but it's not a Christmas special. And if we're going to be talking about greatest Christmas movies, that's Gremlins.
I thought it would have been
okay.
Home Alone.
See, Spin says Home Alone.
Tristan from YouTube says, thank you, the fun podcast, and thank you for joining us. So we'll be back again
okay,
in
listen,
early January.
I love Home Alone, but yes, pepperoni, that's a but. Man. Freaking
Charles
Gremlins goes from being like such a classic, almost like just like it's so has like classic family Christmas vibes, and then it's like crazy monster murder, and it's the first movie to have a PG-13. It's the first movie to ever warrant a PG-13 because people would go in being like, "Oh, it's a Christmas movie," and then chaos. Like, remember, Anthony, I showed you that movie, and you're like, "This explains a lot about you."
Like, hold on. Okay, since you just said what you just said,
it's amazing.
If you think about it,
anyway, I'm done now.
Majority of the top
I love you,
Christmas
I was
movies...
gone all weekend babysitting my niece and nephew, so
okay, hold on.
she hasn't seen much of me, so I gotta go give her love and affection and kisses.
That was just a moment.
Go watch Gremlins.
For another just a moment.
Yeah, the important context was she couldn't actually hear any of you because she didn't have my headphones on.
No, I agree. That's why I stopped. But I was going to say what I was saying earlier, that if you think about it, all the top Christmas
watch Krampus
movies.
also. Tell them to watch Krampus.
She has also watched Krampus.
You see, and
and Violent Night is also good. Violent Night is also good.
Okay, so now she's going to really prove my point.
But if you're going to go see Violent Night, make sure you're in a respectful audience. Unlike when we saw it last Saturday, when, oh my fucking god, there was like 3 parents and like 7 kids between them, and you'd hear the kids being like, burr, 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 and then shh, and I was like, just shut up, like teach your kids not to talk during a movie. And then in the background, oh my god, in the background, there's these 4 teenage girls, and they were like 6 rows behind us in the very back. And they were like, they sound like chipmunks talking amongst each other. They're like, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't go to the movie theater and talk. It's like a basic #1 fucking rule. And then like one of them, I guess, lost their phone, and they had like their fucking cell phone lights looking everywhere for it and be like, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And then they'd like run down the side aisle and like stomp and then run in front of the screen to leave multiple times. Why are you in the movie theater if you're not there to watch the fucking movie? What the fuck?
Violent Night was really good.
Oh my god. And like Dan Harbour has a deep low voice, so I'm trying to listen to his dark, deep, violent Santa past, and he's like, and then the background, I'm like, shut the fuck up, shut up. And Andrew thought that I turned around and gave them the finger when really I was cupping my mouth to yell at them. And I got so angry that like when they all ran out at one point, I stomped out after them, and they all thought you and Andrew thought I was gonna fucking fight these teenage girls. When really I just wanted to like yell at them because I was so angry. But I got out, and there was just like a Cineplex employee named Joseph. I remember because my dad's middle name is Joseph, and my nephew's middle name is Joseph. So I was like, dude, like there's these teenage girls, and he was like, no, we just yelled at them for running out of the washroom. And I was like, good, fuck those kids, fuck those kids. This is exactly why I see things in VIP, because those people pay the money to know that everyone's gonna be fucking quiet. Those are the real people that go to see a movie and be chill. Any other time where I don't see it in VIP, there's always some shit. There's a child crying, there's teenagers, like people fucking coughing, people pulling out their cell phone. I'm like, there's advertisements. There's advertisements at the beginning of the movie telling you not to go on your phone because it's bright and it's distracting. They tell you to silence your phone. They tell you not to talk. And what do? They do all of it. Why? Why are you going to the movie theater if you're going to act this way? Why are you spending good money to be a fucking asshole? I just wanted to watch Violent Night.
My kid gets a 5.
Oh my god.
Good.
I'm just really angry because I was really looking forward to that movie, and they were really getting into like his past. He was having like a deep moment, and I was like, I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? Like they literally sounded like that.
You're supposed to
Why
say
did
bitch,
they
please.
sound like that? Why?
Why, Jess? Why?
It's a great movie. Just don't see it with children around. Why was there children there? It's a violent movie. It's like rated like 18. They literally like take people out with a fucking hammer. Like, who's raising these kids? No one. I fucking hate kids. And like I always say like a boomer you, but they come into my store and they just fucking open shit and steal shit and knock shit over and they're like, my bad. Bitch, watch what you're fucking doing. Why are you stealing my stuff? Stop stealing our essence. And that's a brand. And they love to pillage it. Stop it. Stop stealing our mascara and lip gloss. Stop doing it. I fucking hate kids.
Oh dear.
Oh my god, teenagers are the fucking worst. Even when I was a teenager, I was like, why the fuck are you like this? Like, I don't know. I skipped through childhood because I'm just like, just thinking about it makes me so angry. We're not getting more shipment of any of our products until the new year, and people today kept being like, why is the essence so empty? Why is the essence so empty? Because fucking teenagers steal it, okay? I can't help that. Okay, I need to go drink. I'm really dehydrated. I'm dehydrated from all this yelling.
For the record, she meant like Gatorade. She does not drink alcohol.
For the record, I don't even drink water. I don't even like water. That's why I'm fucking dehydrated.
So for all you viewers that just watch all that, remember, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I feel like
at the movies, okay?
They're the fucking worst.
And you teenagers, stop stealing.
Hey, New Year project. Edit together the best of the Jess moments.
Yep.
It's just gonna be a compilation of me fucking yelling.
Well,
yeah, like I was trying to say, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago.
Caden said, hope you all remember to do a Beast Wars tier list. I'm going to do that in the new year.
I know it. I was going to say, what Christmas movie or like a top Christmas movie are not violent?
I still don't understand how Die Hard became a Christmas movie. Like it just
it just happens to be set during Christmas, and there's a Christmas party happening, so there's like paraphernalia of Christmas around.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother lover.
It's Mr. Falcon.
Mm-hmm. He says Animal is the best
Muppet ever.
Oh. Did you see that that Facebook post that I did with the Beastie Boys and the Muppets?
I don't know what it is about Gonzo, but Muppets in Space is a really great movie.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
And he's really good in the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Rizzo together, that's a fucking dynamic duo.
I'm just waiting for Charlie over there, you know, just to show another figure.
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Frenzy right there.
Frenzy, our Freestyle Saturday mascot.
Which one's that? Is that Frenzy or Rumble?
Oh, you gotta go there. It's Rumble.
That's a...
Ooh, it's Mini Optimus.
Yeah, Dr. Wu.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out what that was. I'm like, oh, it's a little mini guy. Oh, wow, look at that scale.
Wow, yes.
And, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Is that original or is that...
Oh, wow.
Was that the... Uh-oh. Anthony looks like he's on fire.
Oh, I just... they say not to play with fire, but...
Tell them about the Beavis and Butthead movie.
Professor D also said he says Muppets Take Manhattan is the best Muppets movie.
Yo, I fucking love that movie. The bit where fucking Miss Piggy is chasing down the man that stole her purse and rollerblades is like such an iconic film moment. I love that shit so much. I love that moment. That's a top tier Miss Piggy moment. Like if there's a top 10 moment of Miss Piggy, that there chasing down the motherfucker. So good. I love that bit. I love that movie.
Yeah. She was referencing also the fact that we watched...
Sorry, I just took off my eye makeup.
Wow.
Well, I'm not going to listen to what they said anyway. I was going to say, like, I'm not sure if you heard, but I was saying that if there was like a top 10 Miss Piggy moment, there's the bit in Muppets in Manhattan where like this man snatches her purse in Central Park, and she like takes this person's like roller skates and chases him down and tackles him, and that's like a top tier Miss Piggy moment. And I was also gonna say that I got my cat's name from that movie, because there's a bit where Ralph is talking about how he works at like an animal shelter or like a animal like hotel or something, and this like this human character shows up, and they're like, "Oh, I'm dropping off my dog. Oh, look at my Snookums. This is my Snookums." And so I really liked the movie at the time, and didn't know what to name this weird black cat with odd black like dangly legs. So I was like, "This is my Mr. Snookums. This is my Snook." So yeah, origins of my handsome man's name is from Muppets in Manhattan. Yep. Yep. Hello. I didn't name Pepperoni. She came with her name.
Yeah, I told him that. I actually told him that story at the top of the broadcast. So
yeah, she's the best.
I see some heavy drinking tonight.
Of Gatorade.
Yeah, of Gatorade.
Yes, of Gatorade.
Yeah, fucking Gatorade's my shit.
Okay, wow.
Well, it is, getting late.
Let your senses guide you.
Yeah. Charlie's ready for the rest of the evening.
Oh my god. We gotta bring back Thrust.
Oh gosh, yes. It's been a while since we've talked about Thrust.
I know, eh? Charlie's like, what's going on here? Okay, so in our earlier shows, every 2 seconds we were like somehow saying Thrust. Right? It could be the green Thrust, it could be the original G1 Thrust, it didn't matter, but Thrust somehow came up, so every time we say Thrust, we had to do a shot. Right? So I guess we're gonna bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
That will work.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know about you guys, but I know I just came on, but I gotta get going soon because I got an early day tomorrow as well. So Anthony.
Yes.
What you got, man?
Tomorrow, this guy. This big, impressive dragon.
It's a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah. This would be Rodan, technically.
Oh, okay. It's Rodan.
My favorite kaiju is Reptar.
Yeah. And then on Friday, my unrelated, my list of top 15 figures of the year that is written and ready to go.
It's Hot Rod.
Yeah, gee, I wonder if Hot Rod will be on the list somewhere.
You guys were talking about the Hound earlier. Did they say where they're going to sell it? Like Walmart exclusive?
I would assume so, given that this one and the Starscream are Walmart exclusive already.
Yeah. I've been looking for it already. They said it's like already up for sale, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the one I saw was just like a leaked figure, so like I don't think it's properly out yet.
Yeah.
Hound. Okay, hold on. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that figure. Is it? Does it look like Hound?
Yeah, it's like these guys. It's a reissue of the G1 Hound, except they're doing it in cartoon colors.
I'll pick that one up.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit, the G1 Hound looked really nice back then.
Yeah, it's just brighter green, cell shaded looking, blue eyes, the cartoon look.
Nice.
Okay, so since it's near the end of the stream, hopefully this doesn't get a copyright, but Anthony, this is what I was speaking on, that I saw it on Instagram earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had Russian Ravage. It's
That was
Latino
Latino.
Ravage.
I was about to say.
Yeah, on the phone, like you can actually kind of zoom in on it better, but it's his mouth is moving and he's conducting the air razors, and I was just like, I had to watch that like multiple times. Like, what did I just see there?
Yeah, it's a perfect loop too.
Yeah.
Golden nuggets.
Start dancing in the background.
Yep.
Yeah. Got me dancing, man. Got me shaking. You're from all right. Okay, so we got Hound. We got Latino Ravish
Latino Ravage.
instead of Russian Ravish. Ravish, sorry. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. All right, so that's for next week. Check it out on Children of Primus.
Actually, not next week. January 8th, because next 2 weeks are holidays, so we're gonna be off for 2 weeks.
Yes, so that's why it's important to hit your notification button so you know when we go live, so you don't miss out on us. Charlie, you got anything?
Yeah, do you guys see the third-party Primus they're making?
Yes, I saw some images of it.
Yeah.
Getting in before HasLab exists.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to do some creative accounting because Christmas and New Year's. See if I can
just go rob a bank.
Live stream it.
Yeah, that'll go well.
Nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll live stream it, whatever, and even if I go to jail and I don't get the money, at least I can make some money off of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sell a kidney.
There he is. Yeah.
Look at that. That is very nice.
It's from the people that did the Studio Cell Unicron.
Is that supposed to be the same size as a HasLab Unicron?
Same size as the third-party one that they did. This the third-party Unicron.
It's a little bit smaller, the Unicron. From Zeta or whatever you want to call it.
All right.
01 Studio.
I think the surface detailing more than makes up for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, very detailed.
Take someone's eye out with those towers.
That's
Throw it
okay.
at somebody.
It reminds me of some 80s toys.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's really nice. It'd be cool if they put some like little labels like Crystal City.
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, but that is nice.
All right.
Take my money. It's Christmas, why not?
So I want to thank everyone that.
It's been over 10 minutes. Come on.
We're
You wrap it the fuck up faster. Shit.
You know what? That's where you're supposed to hit the end button right there.
I was thinking it, but I'm like, what? We gotta thank everyone that came through today.
Yeah, we gotta thank everyone first.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And tell just to say wrap it up again so we can hit
Thank you for watching. You did good watching. Wow. You can also rewatch this later. Wow, so cool. Thank you. Happy holidays and a happy new year. Bye.